Just go live. Just go live. Jesus. Holy. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Why? What is going on? What's going on? What's going on here? Oh, brother. Oh, let's just see what we got here today. Oh yeah, let me change that. Fuck. Fuck no. Fuck no. Screw you, StreamYards. Oof. Bad. Hmm. Let's go here. I need to edit this. This is what's. No, this is not for kids. This is not for kids. What happened? Nintendo is out here scamming people. And I'm like, how come nobody's talking about this? This is absolutely insane. Yeah, you should go watch it. I think this is oh, by the way, what's up, RJ? Um this is what is going on here. Nintendo. So I was watching this video from Arlo. Um this Switch 2 edition sets a scary precedent. Now, I'm not going to play the full video, but essentially in this video, he makes the claim that Nintendo might be false advertising this game. And very, this pisses me off, right? This really does piss me off. Now, let me just switch tabs here um, and explain the situation because I'm not showing the video. You could go and watch the video if you want. And I just came on here because I'm bored. It's Sunday. I just want to rant. Why can't I share my screen? Stop sharing the screen. I gotta share the other screen. Okay, so this is Nintendo's website. Okay, so the claim here is that Nintendo is false advertising this game, and potentially we'll have to see this new Kirby game. It's the same game with the new mode, but that's not what's going on here. So there isn't a Switch 2 upgrade. Okay, it says right here, literally, it says Switch 2 edition. There's no Switch 2 edition. When you put this game in and you start playing the base game, there's no 4K upgrade, there's no performance upgrade, nothing. The Jamboree TV mode is its own thing. Now that works in 4K. It has all the upgrades, but it's a separate mode that only has certain mini games. So in other words, you're getting a Switch 1 game that is branded Switch 2 with the side content that is barely anything, and they're separate modes. So if you want to play the game in 4K, you can't play the game in 4K. You have to play the DLC. Now, this is fucking insanity, right? Like, what is going on with Nintendo? And I'm on the website, and we could see there's no mention of anything. They put asterisks, but when I go and investigate the asterisks, they don't clarify that. It just says Switch 2 features, become a star, blah, blah, blah. You know, there's no enjoy Jamboree TV in a higher resolution mode. Well, I guess maybe they're not lying on the website because, yeah, nowhere does it say here anything about Switch 2 edition and the base game. Like, this is just confusing. Like, if you picked up this game and you saw Switch 2 edition, wouldn't you just assume? Wouldn't you just assume that the game is in 4K? That the game is going to run on Switch 2? But no, it just literally, when you boot it up on the console, it just says Switch 2. You click on it, and then it's got the separate modes. But when you go to the base game, it's a Switch 1 game. Like, so in other words, this whole branding here, Nintendo Switch 2 edition, that could mean anything. That could literally just mean, oh, the game runs on Switch 2. Because as we know, other games don't run on Switch 2. I mean, Jamboree ran and looked really good on Switch 1, but you would think they would at least do a 4K upscale across the board. You would think that. It's literally called a Switch 2 edition. And this is why I'm like, okay, is this really false advertising? I don't know if it's false advertising, but I do think it is weird. Nintendo would come out here and say, we'll put the branding of Switch 2 edition, which so far has mean what? Essentially that the game is going to at least get some type of performance or resolution upgrade so it can run on a 4K monitor or TV. So let me just go back to the comments here. Let me stop streaming this. I hate that you can't just switch view tab. No, you can't. You got to stop it and then switch. No. What's going on with StreamYard? Oh, brother. Yeah, so let me just read the comments here. Zoom in here. Nothing. The thing is that the name is literally a lie. There is no Switch 2 edition of Mario Party Jamboree. There's Jamboree and a separate executable with unique content, Jamboree TV. But the actual game with the unlockables and achievements and recording, keeping, and all save data is entirely untouched. Uh, Not even visually upgraded. Sorry. Kind of wish we could do something about them. Just saying a game is something it isn't, but it's too confusing for people to care. This is why I'm saying like this has got to be called out. I saw IGN gave the Switch 2 version a 7 and complained that the new version wasn't worth the price. Yeah, apparently, and he goes in depth on the video that there's really nothing. Like there's a couple of mini games with the mouse and the camera, and that's it. Um, but I don't remember them even mentioning that the main game didn't get an upgrade. I think they just reviewed the DLC then, because you're getting. This is the thing. They're charging $20. Let me just go on their website. Because here in Canada, this thing is like 14 or 114. I was gonna say 1400. No, that would be fucking insane. No, $114, and it says it includes the Switch 2 edition, and you have the upgrade pack, which is $30 because you're getting the DLC and the upgrade. But if there's no upgrade and it's just DLC, why is it $30? Your profile picture is explaining that Nintendo Switch 2 upgrade isn't an upgrade. Yeah, this is. Listen, I had to come on here because this shit just pisses me off. I hate, and there's some guy I posted this on Threads just to see, where people are gonna come and or what he would say, where the level of damage control is at. Because I don't think this video was just posted like 4 hours ago, 3 hours ago. This hasn't come out. I didn't see this on Twitter. I'm looking on Twitter. I'm like, wow, no one's talking about this. Why? Like you would think people would be talking about this. People were just talking about Elden Ring not running on Switch 2, and then all of a sudden, lo and behold, this comes out. Nah, it's Nintendo CEO being pressured by the press over this BS. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they'll come out and address this. I don't think they will. Like the only way this will come, they will address it if there is a massive controversy and people go, wait a minute, what am I paying for exactly? If I'm paying $30 for an upgrade and I'm not getting an upgrade, I'm only getting DLC, is it worth $30? And this is the thing, the only other game that is going to do something similar to Mario Party is Kirby, which comes out, I think, this week. So we won't even know. Someone is going to have to test that. Obviously, I don't have a Switch 2. I don't want to buy. I have both of these games. I had no intentions of even buying these when I do get a Switch 2. Maybe Kirby, but even then. So this is even making me like, hey, is the Kirby even an upgrade? Or is it just DLC with, oh, it's a Switch 2 branded game, but it's not. I bet Kirby will actually be a true upgrade and run better and look better across the board. That's what I'm going to assume. I assume that's going to be the case because, yeah, I think this is absolutely crazy. And I don't know. I just wish more people, because this is the kind of stuff where you're like, hey, the Switch 2 has already had a ton of controversy. This is one of the reasons why I don't even want to buy the console, because I'm like, let me wait a full year and see it. I do want it. I've been itching. I was like, oh, should I get it? Nintendo is notoriously lazy. I can show this. I forgot this. Notoriously lazy with Mario Party games. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good game. I haven't played it that often, but the last game was pretty good too. So, and that came out like 3 years ago now. This is why you need to wait and see. Well, yeah. I mean, you guys in the chat are the only people I know who have a Switch 2. Um, I mean, I don't know. I'm still on the fence about it in its entirety because I feel like, well, stuff like this is kind of shady. And I also remember hearing that Nintendo really wasn't prepared for the Switch 2 launch, that there wasn't a lot of games, there wasn't a lot of third party games. And so now they're kind of just like, you know, trying to put out what they can to keep it afloat. I think even the CEO got a pay cut because he was expecting lower sales or this year to not be a good financial year for Nintendo. I don't know, but it took Nintendo scamming us for blinded to make a stream. I guess it ain't that bad. I was just bored. Like, I don't even know what else to say, really. I just saw this and I was like, whoa. I'm like, I feel like this is a big deal. Like, compared to what people were saying with Elden Ring, like, who cares? Like, of course, Elden Ring wasn't going to run great on Switch 2. Like, obviously, it shouldn't be running at 15 frames a second. But then when the footage came out, you're like, it's okay. Like, it's not in a terrible shape like people were saying, but that's only one person. And the game doesn't even have a release date. All of these third party games were announced, you know, and they don't have release dates. So that kind of tells you something is going on. I just want to keep reading the comments because this is interesting. Somebody had an interesting comment here. I don't think the Nintendo criticism is a narrative shift. This is another thing too. A lot of people, especially you'll see on Twitter, people are like, "Oh, Nintendo's getting dogged on," and it's like, Nintendo Switch 2 was worth it for Donkey Kong, but I'm currently waiting for another big game to play. I'm not playing Mario Kart that often, mostly Fortnite. Yeah, I mean, Donkey Kong looks good. Is it something that I want to buy immediately? Not really. I obviously do like Donkey Kong, but yeah, you know. Elden Ring has instability issues in other platforms. Yeah, that was just bad optimization. I might play Hollow Knight. Yeah, I was thinking about playing that too. Yeah, Metroid and Kirby. Kirby looks good, but I don't know if I'm like rushing out. It does look really good. But again, it's like I'm not. This is the thing. Nintendo with the Switch 2 afterward really messed up stuff where I'm like, I'd rather wait and see because who really knows what's going on with Nintendo? People are like, oh, I mean, first off, one, you could buy a Switch 2 uh, and have no issues. There's no scalping, nothing. Now, some people take that to mean, oh, it's not selling, but Nintendo said it would be wildly available I can't even talk, widely available. Jesus. Um, so yeah, I don't really know. I want to see where this goes in like a year because I don't want to invest into a hardware where it's like, is the game's not going to be as good, or is this generation for Nintendo going to take longer? Because they did say that. And so I'm like, well, if it's as long as PlayStation, do I need this? I don't know. I don't even play games that often. You know what I mean? Like right now I'm playing Zelda. After Zelda, maybe I'll play Hollow Knight. I don't know. But I'm kind of like, I'm just not in the mood to really play games. And a lot of the games that are coming out, I'm not like, they look good, but I'm like, damn, the price, man. Like the price is like way too much. Like again, like for Kirby here, it's like $100. $100 for Kirby. I don't know, man. Same thing with Pokemon. Like a game like Metroid, I want to play Metroid, so I would put up the money, but maybe I would just wait so I could play it on Switch 2 and get the better upgrades and stuff. And then it's worth the $100 instead of it just being, oh, I'm only playing the Switch 1 version. So I don't know. But what was another one here? Yeah, so this guy, yeah, the shifting of narrative with Nintendo. I don't think, yeah, I think reviewing this guy made a good point. You know, I'd argue that it's a bigger net positive than publicly announcing not buying their products, which essentially what the guy's trying to say is, hey, review bad games. If the game is bad, let people know, which I think is actually a better idea than these YouTubers boycotting. Now, there's some people I feel like, what's the point? What's the point of buying something if we kind of know your opinion on it? Like Dreamcast guy, like of course he's biased. He reviewed Donkey Kong in this way where it's like, bro, you didn't even talk about the game. You really just talked about your feelings about Nintendo, but you didn't talk about the game. You said it was good, and then oh, it's not good. That's not a good review. You can't be inconsistent. You can't say oh, it's good, but you know, I just think Nintendo's lazy and blah blah blah. Is it good or is it not? Like that's what a review should be about. People suddenly being so against Nintendo with the last couple of years makes perfect sense. From a Gen Z perspective, when Switch 1 came out, we were still in high school and middle school or younger. Yep. We were kids who most of the time didn't really know what bad deeds companies were up to. Nah, I disagree. Maybe if you're like in middle school or younger, but when you're in high school, we were pissed off. You know what I mean? We were pissed off when things would go up in price, maybe because I live in Canada and shit goes up all the time, but we were pissed. So I don't know. And if you were always a Nintendo fan, you would know Nintendo was always up to some bullshit. This isn't some new thing. It's just that now I feel like Nintendo kind of changed their tune. They're supposed to be it's supposed to be cheaper. It was supposed to be more accessible. Now all of a sudden, a Switch 2 in Canada costs the same price as a PlayStation 5. You're like, wait a minute, what? A Switch 2 with no games costs the same price as a PlayStation 5? That doesn't sound right. Now, obviously, in the States, it's like $50 in between, but the Switch 2 here with no bundle, same price as a PlayStation 5 is really crazy to me. Like, and I'm still like a little bit surprised people rushed out and bought Switch 2 in Canada. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if that's a good idea because all of a sudden games went up to adjust for the price of, you know, because of the dollar. So now games were like $80, now they're $85. So they went up like $6, right? Um, $6 because well, it was 79, and then now it's 84. And then you add tax, it's gonna add up. Like, so I don't know. Nintendo was just kind of, I don't know. Nintendo was fucking really, really confusing here. Like, I still don't understand. And now let me just show you. Let me just show you this shit. Stop sharing the price here in Canada because this shit don't make no fucking sense. What's up, Red? Yeah, Switch 2 is more than a PS5 on sale. Yeah. Why? I have no fucking clue. Um, man, I don't feel like the fucking icons here. They're so weirdly placed. Here. Okay. Like the pricing here really doesn't make any sense. Why is this more than Donkey Kong, right? Is it because you're getting the Switch 1 with this and then that adds up to this? And you're like, on paper, I guess yes, that makes sense. But when you look at a brand new game and the game is $9.99, you're like, that's really confusing. Why is this more than this or this? That doesn't make a lot of sense. And I guess over time, if these prices stay the same, it'll be okay. But the problem is the prices won't. They're gonna go up. So that's already confusing. Donkey Kong looks like a really good game. Yeah, I mean it does look like a really good game, but I'm not like, you know, the thing is like the price is now kind of like making you go, well, should I even buy this now? Like that's the gaming industry because I know people are going to come in and say, oh, gaming is a luxury and all this stuff like that. or oh, you get more for your money with gaming. But here's the thing, right? When you look at the price of these games, it makes you more hesitant to buy them, even if you're like, well, it's a good deal or you're getting a lot of content. It's just like, uh, do I really want to buy it? And then if I do want to buy it, I'm not going to be buying games as frequently. So I feel like they kind of messed up. Like this industry is like all about, okay, we need to grow. But you're like, well, you're eventually going to price out the people who were supporting you. And then who's it going to be for? Like gaming's supposed to be on this rise, but you're like, are people buying in droves these full price games? And if they are, they're not buying every single game like every 2 weeks. Who's buying a brand new game every 2 weeks? Even if you have the money, these games are long. Sometimes it takes me a month to beat a game. Like and if it's a game that's like 40, 50 plus, it's gonna be longer. I don't have the time to just sit down, play the game, beat it within a week or 2 weeks, and then move on to the next thing. And on top of that too, I kind of don't even want to do that because then I'm like, well, what the hell am I supposed to play now? The new game that's coming out is not gonna be good. PlayStation increased their price due to tariffs, then had a sale a month later. They're capping like Mudahar. Yeah, I unsubscribed to him. I can't be condoning, people lying and shit. It's a great game, actually. Yeah, I'm not saying it's not a great game or anything like that. My claim is, these prices will become a barrier to entry now. Like people would be hesitant to buy some of this stuff, especially Nintendo games. There's a lot of Nintendo games like Donkey Kong. Yeah, the game has good reviews. You buy it, but then when you got a game like a 2D Kirby, would you be buying a 2D Kirby game for $100? Oh hell no. And it's not to say the game is not good, but it's like that's not a game that you want to pay full price. And that's another thing too, is like people see the price of these games and they associate, well, if it's this amount, then it's got to equal the same kind of quality I can get on a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox or a PC. If I'm paying that price, which is that fair to think? No, but that's how these companies have priced it. They haven't, instead of adjusting the price of these games, they've just kind of gone, hey, this is our premium game is going to cost $100, and no matter what it is, if it's a franchise that doesn't even sell 10 million units, we're still going to charge $9.99. And you're like, why? That's fucking suicide. It's literally suicide. And that's how some of these games just they underperform because like who's buying this game full price? Mario Odyssey took me a month. It was glorious. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Some people beat games faster than other people, but I gotta be honest, I'm not beating all these games like within a short time frame. Like I'm just not. I don't think I ever will. Like when I'm not as busy, I can. But then that became hell trying to beat like so many games within a year. I don't recommend that at all. Most of these games just waste your time. Yeah. They and that's what happens with these companies. I can't blame them. I can't blame them because it's like if you invest so much money, you at least want to make your money back. It makes sense. Like all these people being like, oh, well, like why do we have to pad out all this shit? And it's like, well, because they need people to feel like they got their money's worth. I don't know. I don't know, but there's gonna be a lot of excuses. I'm sure people are gonna say, "Oh, well, why would you assume that it's a talking about Mario Party? Why would you assume the base game has all these upgrades? Like, what people do, and that's the part that's annoying. Like, all of a sudden now, people are gonna twist and change shit. It's annoying. And that's why I don't like the fucking gaming community. The gaming community is full of frauds, full of people who are like they're ready to come on their soapbox and tell you about, oh, everybody's fucking lying and stuff like that, and don't trust people. People can't have an opinion. If it's a negative opinion about PlayStation, Nintendo, or Xbox, someone is gonna come to you and say some stupid shit or try to justify why your opinion is dumb. And you're like, no, let me just have my opinion. Like I don't. Listen, the money that they make, I don't see any of that money. The only thing I see is an entertainment that they provide. Okay, I'm not here to fucking stand up here and say, "Oh my god, I love Nintendo and I love fucking sucking Nintendo's cock." No, I don't know why people on the internet have become so accustomed to doing stuff like that, or when they would come out and be like, well, this thing that people are spreading, it's all fucking bullshit lies. All this, and you're like, what are you talking about? And this is a situation with this Mario Party. I could totally see this being a situation where now people claim, oh, everybody who thought there was an upgrade was wrong. And you're like, but it's called a Switch 2 edition. They should outline what a Switch 2 edition means then. If it doesn't mean that there's an upgrade or there's a resolution bump, then why even call it a Switch 2 edition? What? It just runs on Switch 2? The fucking Switch 1 version can run on Switch 2. Like, you would assume it's going to at least have some fucking upgrade. So then it's like, oh yeah, this is going to run in 4K. It's going to do the things that the Switch 1 couldn't. I don't know. It's just these frauds have lame personalities. It's only in the gaming community. It's only in the gaming community. Red is always first. Well, RJ was here first, but yeah. Shout out to RJ. But I don't know, man. Listen, I like Nintendo. I literally was just playing Zelda. Okay, I'm not out here lying and shit. I do like Nintendo games. Okay, I have a whole stack of Nintendo first party games. People in the chat obviously can verify. I'm not lying. Obviously, the only people watching here are people who know me anyway. So I don't know. I just need to come on here and say this shit. I don't know how many. We're almost at 30 minutes. Breaking Nintendo is being sent to blind Nintendo's. Oh shit. You come for me. Let me see what's going on Twitter. Because I searched this and I didn't see anything. I didn't see jack fucking shit. Hold on. Okay, I was confused there. I was like, can you see my Twitter? I'll pull it up in a second here. Sorry. It's not even trending. No. I mean, Nintendo would be trending is what I mean. Nintendo. Oh. Nope. And you got this. I'll show you some of these accounts where I'm like, share this tab instead. Share this tab instead. Okay. This, like this account, right? Like this account I always see loves to run damage control for Nintendo. Like, and you're like, why are you doing this? It doesn't even make sense. Let me just see. So it's like, yeah, here's the fucking gameplay. People are like, oh, it actually looks not that bad, and people are lying and shit. I'm just kind of scrolling through. Because it's like there's a lot of these like accounts where you're like they're Nintendo focused and they always feel the need to kind of like make excuses for something. Or kind of like, oh, it's not true and blah blah blah. And you're like, I don't know about that, buddy. But yeah, this account is not talking about this. Not at all. Not at all. I don't even think people put two and two together. Like, I mean, the game has been out for a little bit now, but yeah, if it wasn't for that review, I wouldn't have known. I would just assume it's a Switch 2 edition. Right? And that's where they get you. It's just an assumption, but it's like, and this is what I say, right? We have these assumptions, and then people are going to be like, well, you were stupid to have that assumption, and you should know better, and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, but look at their website. The fucking website doesn't even make it clear. You know what I mean? Like, how can you blame the person when it's not even clear? Like, we just assume Switch 2 edition. You scroll down and you look, oh, you get blah, blah, blah. They're advertising all the DLC stuff. But there's not a single fucking mention of the base game. Look at the Switch 2 edition supports 1440p on TV mode. You know what I mean? Like only on Switch 2. The Switch 2 edition includes a new mode, and that's it. There's no mention that it's doesn't fucking run on Switch 2. So I don't know, man. I don't know. There's not a lot going on today anyway. So yeah, another day, another kind of just gaming is kind of just I'm not saying gaming is dead or anything like that, but it's just kind of like disappointing. Disappointing. You're kind of just like the sails on my ship have been blown out, and that's it. I'm just kind of disappointed. It's just people could enjoy whatever they want. I guess there's stuff to enjoy, but for me, I'm kind of just slowly losing interest. That's what I would say. Slowly losing interest. Yeah, I don't think there's much going on here. Not so much. Yeah. And I wanted to keep this gaming, but it's not like I don't even know what else to talk about. I guess everybody left. Yo, what's up, man? What's up? Hold on, let me just check my phone. Let me see actually what some of these people know. Yeah, most people. This guy says they could have made it 4K, but it shouldn't be an issue because Mario Party. It looks well enough. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but yeah, this guy's like, this is what I was talking about. BS take on Hush. Generally, the most worthless Batman villain. No, that's a perfect take. I mean, Hush is like, what the hell does Hush even do? Bro just is like, I'm gonna test Batman, and then he never does fucking shit. I mean, the only story that used him is Heart of Hush. Every other fucking story that used Hush was just ass. This is just dog shit. But yeah, this guy says not because I post this right on Threads. I said, wait, this is what I wrote. Wait, Super Mario Party Jamboree Switch 2 edition is literally the Switch 1 version. No upgrades, no resolution / performance bump, but the Nintendo site says otherwise with no clarification. And then this guy says not exactly. The Jamboree TV portion is different, utilizes a lot of Switch 2 capabilities like camera and game share. And then I say, well, that's not what I'm talking about. And then he just says I'm like mistaken, in other words. And then some other guys confuse like what does the mode have, what doesn't it have. So I don't know. People are confused. Nintendo's never gonna clarify shit. They want us to be confused. So yeah. I think Tony's streaming right now, actually. I want to send a super chat just to be in first place. Well, there's no super chat. There won't be any fucking super chats. I don't even know what else to talk about. I think I might end it here because it's 30 minutes now. I kind of got what I need to say. If someone puts in a chat, if you want me to talk about something, I could talk about something. What the hell is this? Like, bruh. People think The Boys is about superheroes? Well, I mean, it's a superhero show. I don't know. I don't know. What else is there? I forgot this is coming out. Some of this stuff is just yeah. This cover does look cool though. Hold on. Let's save that. It's a cool idea. Yeah, whenever this comes out, I guess. Keep going. I just got here. Well, I don't know what else to say. You show up late. I guess we could talk about something that's not gaming. Like, I mean, most people. I guess some people in the chat care. I read Vito's book. I read the entire thing. Let me just Hold on. Switch tabs. Actually, stop sharing. Hold on. Let me pull it up here. I mean, I'm sure Tony is on his stream talking, so there's not a lot of entertainment news. Yeah, there's not really a lot of entertainment news. I kind of just want to share my thoughts on stuff, you know. But yeah, so I read Vito's book and I watched Tony's stream last night. Now, obviously, most of the time, as most of you guys know, I don't always agree with what Tony says, or I have my own opinion. And most of the stream that went on like what 6 hours. Vito book is ass. Vito's book is ass. I'm trying to pull it up here. How come I can't open it? Ugh. Download it. Download it anyway. Ugh. Like, where the fuck do I put this? I just put it in downloads. I'm trying to pull it up here because okay, I got it here. I don't know what else to talk about, you know, but I read it. It's like 70 pages. I don't want to like show you the entire book, but I don't know, man. It was at first I read it and I was like, this is not that bad, but I've said it time and time again, these indie books need to be self-contained. I think, yeah, they don't, I don't know, for your first book, I feel like you should kind of tell a self-contained story. Like it shouldn't be like I'm gonna do this kind of like series and all this stuff like that. It should be kind of like self-contained, and then if you want to do spin-offs, then do that. Like I think what Tony's doing, I think that works. Like if you have like an idea that can be expanded, but you have one story, then that's fine. But with this book, it's barely a story. Like it's a story for a supporting character. Like the plotting here is bad. Like so much of the story is like, oh, what is super killer, right? And Vito's like, oh well, that's the mystery. And you're like, why? Like it just it's the only thing that's interesting in the book, and you don't even give us a lot of clues. You give us a lot of just like explaining shit. But it's like, I don't know, most of the stuff you're like, I don't really care. I would kind of want to know why he's doing this. Give us some hints or at least give us a little bit of something so then we can be like, okay, this is like one piece of a puzzle. But right now it's not. All this universe shit is not going to work. No, I agree. The whole book is like, let me just like this. Like, okay, so he does like the whole Deadpool thing where it's like, oh, an anchor hero and all this bullshit. But you're like, okay, well, why is the main character going around killing all these universes? I think Vito has an explanation, but it's not in this book. And that's another thing too. I kind of hate when no offense, because there's another person who kind of does this, okay? A bigger, well-known director who does this. Obviously, I am a fan of his work, but I just don't like it when people come out and kind of go, "Oh, we did this thing, but it's not explained ever in the movie. It's not shown. It's just like, oh, this is my canon in my head that maybe eventually will be explained." And you're like, yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. Like, you should never admit stuff where it's like, oh, actually, the reason why this happens is for another reason, but it's not explained in the book. Like, when I start hearing creators or writers start to talk like that, I know I'm like, that's usually a red flag. It's usually a red flag because it's like you should put it in the book. Like you shouldn't make an assumption or if it's something that's going to be revealed later, then don't say it at all. Like let that be a surprise. So that's usually kind of my take on when a writer like I don't know, it's like you're setting up this universe and you have all these explanations for things, but then you know you don't really explain or it's not like intriguing enough. Like you don't give us enough breadcrumbs. And the breadcrumbs are not like it should be laid out better. You know what I mean? Like it feels like this comic is more about the jokes than it is about the story. It's like how many edgy jokes can I fit into the page? Like it's kind of just unnecessary. Like I don't know, like most of these jokes And there's another thing too. Because I think somebody on Tony's stream said it. I don't know if it was TJ or whoever said it, but like some of these jokes, I feel like they don't really work as like a written joke. It's like you're reading it and you're like, I don't know, it's not really funny. Vito likes using word bubbles to explain what the art is showing. Yeah. Well, he also does like these kind of like jokes where he like interrupts, like the editor's note. He kind of does that like maybe like 2 times, I think. I'm trying to like this like I don't know. I don't know. And this is another thing too. This is my kind of hot take. Closed caption Vito. Yeah, this is my hot take, but I tend like sometimes I prefer if like independent creators would kind of do their own story, like tell their own story, do their own thing, and not like parody or like do a copy of something, unless you like really change it or flip it on its head. Like I don't know, I'm very like particular on what I read, and even if it comes down like for example Marvel and DC, I don't just because I like Marvel and DC does not mean I'm reading everything from Marvel and DC, because a lot of the times it's not interesting to me. There's nothing like, oh, we're gonna go on this arc or we're gonna do something new with the character. Like I like it when they change up things, but when things are just like the status quo, like for example, Spider-Man. Spider-Man is just status quo. There's never like big changes. The last time they did something big with Spider-Man was Superior Spider-Man. Hold on, I need the fan. Sorry. And that was actually interesting. I don't know, like I feel like every time I read Twitter or other people's takes, like it does seem like people don't want radical changes with characters. Which I'm not in comics, I'm not really for just status quo. They made the indie scene an off brand of the big two. Yeah, like it's like they can never go off and do a different genre. And if they do, it's not like, no offense, but it comes like cheap. You know what I mean? Like it feels still off brand. It doesn't feel like I'm here to like build an interesting premise or like you know what I mean? Like when you like the way Vito pitched Super Killer, you would assume this is about this guy who's killing superheroes and he has a specific mission. But this book is not about that. It's just about the jokes. It's about, oh, how edgy and making fun of superheroes. And you could tell Vito, I don't think Vito likes superheroes. Like I've seen his videos, like I don't know if he has a Superman review, but I know he talked about Superman. And he was like, oh, like who cares about Superman and blah blah blah. And you're like, but Superman still made $600 million. Like I do think there's enough people who do care. And this like kind of like cynicism, like it works when it's Garth Ennis, because Garth Ennis actually has an interesting vision and he dials it up where it just gets crazier and crazier. Sometimes he crosses the line, but that's kind of like his appeal as a writer. It's like, oh, he hates superheroes so much that he's willing to kind of degrade them and make them look like scumbags. And he actually has a point. You know what I mean? Like he's actually has something to say about superheroes while he's doing that. Vito doesn't. Vito is still an amateur. Any creator's still an amateur, right? When this is your first comic or your first written work, it's not going to be great. But like the way Vito comes across is like, he's like a professional who has years of experience under his belt. But it's not the case. Like you would read this and I would not pick up another issue. I'm kind of intrigued to see where it goes, just to see where the mess, the dumpster fire, how it continues. But I'm a casual fan of comics. For some reason, I could read comics better than Vito. Yeah. Well, what does Vito? Well, I don't even know what Vito's main inspiration was. Like, I don't know. Like, what's the story he's trying to tell here? It seems like Beck is the main character. Because, like, in the chat yesterday, I don't know if you were there when he was saying this, but Tony and them on the panel was saying like Super Killer is an asshole, he's not relatable and stuff like that. And then he's like in the chat, well, that's the point. He's not supposed to be relatable and blah blah blah. And you're like, But why is he the main character then? Like, there's got to be at least something to like about him. So then we can understand, like, okay, yeah, he's a scumbag, but there's this one quality about him that makes him at least not insufferable. You know, like if you have an insufferable character, it's hard to continue to read, especially if it's from that point of view character. Like there needs to be at least one thing. They can be murderers, but if they have a dog and they take care of the dog, for a lot of people, it's like you could justify it. You know, like that's why even in the chat I put, well, that's a stupid rebuttal from Vito because it's like Tony Soprano, for example, is like one of the worst people ever. But what makes him an interesting protagonist is that he actually cares about his family. Like he cares about certain things that are relatable. And so as a result, you're like, oh, I'm kind of intrigued and I kind of like Tony Soprano because he feels like someone I would know. That's how you get your foot in the door. They could be a total piece of shit. They can murder people. They could do some of the worst things ever. But as long as they have like a good footing where everybody can understand where they're coming from or can see themselves in, then yeah, then it's easy to relate to them. Vito should look at older mangas. Yeah, I don't know. Like this is another thing too. Yeah, I guess he took inspiration from more mangas and stuff. Again, I don't read a lot of mangas, and the mangas that are popular, I notice I'm not when I pick it up and I read it, it's just not something I like. You know, like it's kind of like shallow. Like it's like very shallow, kind of sometimes edgy, and there's nothing there. Like those are the stuff I don't really read. I don't really like to read that. I like to read something that is like thematically interesting or like something that's like you're playing with the character. Like I'll give you an example. The new Hulk run I like because it's like, oh, you know, all these monsters are tracking down the Hulk and like you know, they kind of explore that dynamic where it's like, oh, you know, is the Hulk really a monster? Is he someone that needs to be completely taken out because he's just too dangerous, which has been explored before, but it's still an interesting idea where you can explore it at different angles. So it's like a theme where you could build upon, no matter what the premise is. I could see a lot of panels that Vito are trying to mimic. Yeah, I don't really get some of the references here, but and I'm not like I don't know, I'm not like a giant critic of like the art. Like the art looks okay, you know what I mean? Like it does seem like the artist did put a lot of detail and time into it, but obviously some of the framing or the composition maybe isn't the greatest. And I also think too the artist wasn't like totally if you notice, most of the jokes are dialogue jokes. What's up, Bob? I know Bob was a big critic last night. I wish Bob, I don't know if Bob's busy. I think it might be getting nighttime over there or like morning. But Bob was going off, bro. I can't even blame him. Like Bob was kind of the reason why I flipped. I was like, yo, like actually, yeah, the more you talk about it, more I'm like, yeah, this show it's not good. My problems were more from the story point because that's I feel like I can navigate better with like plot structure or like the pacing of a story and like where you're trying to go. But it's like, yeah, if you notice one of the big things about this comic, and I don't think anybody mentioned it, there's no visual jokes. Like most of the visual jokes are like details. They're not like a panel to panel, like we're gonna have a joke or, you know, it's weird. Bro, I was raging over this comic, so disappointed. I wasn't even, it's not that I was disappointed. I was just more like, I want to see how bad it is. The only thing I could say is at least I finished it. I did not finish Isom. I tried to read Isom. It was so fucking boring. It was so boring. Like I just didn't care. Like, and it has nothing to do with Eric July. It's just, well, I mean, his writing is bad, but I'm not saying that because, oh, I don't like Eric July. No, I did give the comic a shot and it was not good. And I did read his other comics written by other people and I didn't like those. So I was just like, you know what, this is not for me. If you look at all the old Disney behind the scenes stuff, you can see how expressive the storyboards is. Yeah. Yeah, the artist, like, that's the thing. The artist and I think Vito said this, the artist was like a foreigner. And one of the things, and it was funny too, because one I went to at my comic store, they had like a little like gathering where all these artists came and they're selling stuff and trying to sell their books. And I was talking to this like writer and artist, and like one of the things that just from their conversation you could tell like they were already good friends, they already knew each other, but they also knew their sensibilities. And so as a result, it's like you could kind of like it's easier to make stuff with someone who understands, and you're like, oh, I understand what you're trying to say, but I could kind of, or let me word this better. Like sometimes your creative partner is has an idea but they can't articulate it, but the artist understands because you guys are such good friends, or you understand each other's well, where even if they don't communicate an idea effectively, you kind of understand. And this you could just tell like the artist doesn't really understand what Vito's trying to go for. Like, and honestly, as a result, when you read it, as a reader, you don't understand what he's trying to do because it's just confusing. There's a total disconnect from the writing and the art for sure. Decades of online videos that everybody can go through. Yeah. I mean, another thing too is like Vito was like, oh, well, the dialogue is supposed to be very heavy. And you're like, you know, if a book has heavy dialogue, it's okay, right? But you have to be a very good at dialogue. You have to be extremely good at dialogue where it almost feels like it's a movie scene playing out in your head, or you could hear the characters talking. This, it's more like there's a lot of like filler words, or a lot of stuff is said, and it's like, well, this should just be the subtext. There's a video that's really good about writing subtext. And when I was reading this, I was thinking, I'm like, you could cut out a lot of the lines and you would still get your point across, or some of the wording, I should say. Uh, uh yeah, look at terrible, sorry, why is this not showing up? Look at terrible interior arts of Marvel DC low. Uh Good cover with bad interiors, yeah. Yeah, it's always like that with Marvel and DC. There's always something like that. Like recently, I picked up, this was like 2 months ago, Death of the Silver Surfer. The cover looked amazing. It was like watercolors and stuff. Looks so good. The art inside did not match the cover, and it was like such a tonal disconnect. The art inside was good though, but it was just like I wanted something that was like the cover. You know what I mean? And then the story itself was not what I was expecting. I was expecting this more like psychological or like existential, like something deep, right? It's Silver Surfer. I'm expecting something at least a little bit more cerebral. But no, the art instead looked more action oriented, and the story itself is not even focused on the Silver Surfer. It's focused on this other character who I assume is going to become a female Silver Surfer. So I just dropped the book. I was just like, I'm not interested, And it's not that it was poorly written or anything like that, but it's just like I'm not looking for that kind of story. I don't know, with books and comics, it's very different from like video games and movies. Like with a movie, for me, it's really about the premise sometimes. Like what is getting me into the door, right? And like, can you deliver on the premise? And like, is your vision like unique enough and you tell a story where you're like, okay, this is different. Like example, a movie that looks good, it's shot really well, but it's so shallow is like The Creator. The Creator looks amazing. The story, it's Blade Runner. Like there's nothing even new. They don't even do anything like, hey, what if we did this, or like what if we did that? You're like, what's the point? What's the point of even making the movie? I don't even know. Sometimes I feel like that with movies. It's like I've already seen this before. What's the point? Just like it's okay if you're borrowing heavily from something else, but you got to like do something different with it. You got to like subvert it, or flip the premise on its head, or like change the perspectives. Like you got to do something different. You can't just be like, this is just a carbon copy. Um so I mean, I guess you could say that about a lot of art, but I don't know. There's certain things I look for differently. Like again, this is not a comic that I would pick up. Like the comics that I like to read, like right now, I like Absolute Batman. Absolute Batman is just so over the top, and it's so different with Batman, where you're like, damn, what the fuck is gonna happen, right? His friends are his villains, and they have such like an interpersonal relationship where you're like, oh shit, this is gonna be a disaster, right? When eventually they become the villains. You know, the Joker is like this billionaire who's like making all these moves. It's like, okay, this is different. It's still Batman, but it's different. It's like the dynamics are flipped on its head. Batman's in a different position, like, and it's all just like over the top. Is it the best writing? Is it the most deep or interesting? Not always, but it's just a fun read. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm excited to go on this journey because it's Batman, a subverted Batman. Um, so sometimes it's just something like that isn't interesting enough for me to read. But when I'm reading a clone or a fucking like an ISOM where it's just what's the point? Like what's going on here? I don't know. But this like even this joke here, like I know they kind of like the original joke with the 9/11, but I both think they're like extremely edgy and like for what reason? Like why does robbing a bank what does that have to do with 9/11 and jihads and like you know what I mean? Like, oh, because he's robbing a bank and I think he even makes a joke about capitalists. Oh man, I hate capitalism or some bullshit. And they're like, like what the fuck is this? I don't know. Surface level joke, yeah. I kind of just wish Vito like instead of I mean, I guess you would still have to raise money, but maybe he should just made this a web comic. You know, like make it a web comic, release, you know, you could release parts of it and get it out faster, but like 70 pages for this, I don't know, not my cup of tea, that's for sure. It's in bad taste. There's a lot of casual racism, which puts off the reader. Yeah. I don't know. I don't mind racist jokes, but like this for sure is just like especially the one with like the Jew shit, like there's a lot of like weird well like the one joke that was weird to me because it's like set up is the joke about and I'll just speed to it is about Meteor Man, right? Like Meteor Man is in a relationship with what's up sideways? Is in a relationship with Snap, which is supposed to be like, oh, Superman and Jimmy Olsen are having a gay relationship. But they're like, oh, isn't that grooming? And the thing is, like, you're like, actually, isn't this grooming? Because they literally make a joke about he's like, oh, male friendship and stuff like that, and you're like, I don't know, this is kind of weird. And we all know Vito's weird. Vito's the guy who jokes about liking cuties and being a pedophile and all this shit. And you're like, why even joke about that? That's another thing I don't understand about Vito. I don't know why he jokes about stuff like that. Um, I don't know. I notice a trend where people who joke about that kind of stuff, just in like jest or in like ways where you're like, man, that seems like way over the top. There's a guy, I think his name was what? He was on this Justin Silverman YouTube channel, if you guys know him. His buddy, the guy made like some of the craziest jokes about being molested, all this stuff like that. They were funny, but like looking back, yeah, those jokes kind of showed who he was. You know what I mean? So when people joke about certain things, especially when they go really hard or like it's consistent, sometimes they're talking about themselves. Vito likes to do that. Not saying anything, but I don't know why he jokes about those stuff. But yeah, I don't know. The comic itself, I know they were this was also like slightly confusing because he's like talking about the characters or his like team and they all died from like other people. So he's like the last one left. But I don't know, something about when he was talking about this, it sounded like oh, he was the one who did all this shit. But no, he wasn't. That was just more me being confused. Um, yeah, I'm just kind of scrolling through here. I think it was like toward the ending. Everything that happens in the ending was like the stuff that I would have preferred to see throughout the comic, where it's like, okay, yeah, this world's done, and this is like it's all, you know, for almost like 60. Well, let's see, yeah, 50 pages. For like 50 pages, it's mostly just jokes, 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 and then the ending gets to something interesting. I did see that. I did see that. Yes, I didn't go to Fan Expo, but yeah, he was there. Lol. Yeah, that was yeah, yeah. His buddy. I don't remember his name. Bob or something. Dude was involved like in this, you know, cheese pizza ring. So yeah, it's crazy. Wait, this is that super killer book that y'all were talking about in the group chat? Yep. This is the entire book. Or the black and white book. Apparently Vito's gonna go back after yesterday he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna redo it." Sorry, I need water. And I'm out of water. I don't know. I think I'm gonna close this tab though. I don't know, man. Vito's book. Mm, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't even know what he's saying right now. Let me see. Because now you gotta wait. You gotta wait all these years now for what, a new one? It's not worth it. Yeah, this is where he says this. Sorry. I want to get up, but then it's like I have to go downstairs and get fucking water. But it's like I really need water. If Vito wanted to do a parody of superheroes and do a joke comic, it would be cool, but I feel like it was advertised poorly as a multiversal hero comic. Yeah, it's like he's focused on jokes, and I don't know, but this is what he says. This your comment, Bob, plays into this. Hold on. Super Killer is not for everyone. It's a long dialogue heavy and focuses on revealing carefully considered mystery rather than a fast-paced action. So I understand why some will hate it, but I am uh hold on, what the hell is this here? Sorry. Okay, never mind. Uh blah blah blah. Whatever. He just says, yeah, I'm just happy that people are fucking liking it and shit. Okay. But yeah, it's like I'm gonna actually need water because this is getting really bad. Who did the art for this book? I don't know the artist's name. I forget. Vito is on the sus list. Yeah, give me a second, guys. I know you guys. Hold on. This is annoying. Hold on. Okay, I got the water. I needed some candy because, like, I just my nose, it just started feeling nasally. Lost did their premiere episode. did it in their premiere episode. So many mediums to steal, laugh my ass off. This is another point I want to get into about creators in general. I'm starting class this week. Well, one class this semester. Yeah, I start next week. Pedro's reaction to his death and another project in the future. Yeah. What is this, bro? That actress from Twisted Metal, she was in She-Hulk. Did you know that? No, she looked familiar. I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, I was like, who's this actress? Um, who's she in She-Hulk though? Oh yeah, shit. Oh yeah. Oh, oh, she's um what's her name? Madison. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Because I was like, she looks familiar, but I'm like, who is she? Yeah, she plays a totally different character on Twisted Metal. Yeah, you would never have guessed, I guess. But that's actually interesting. Yeah. Yeah, she was yeah, Madison. Yeah, I like Twisted Metal. Twisted Metal's fun. I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, because I watched Twisted Metal and then I watched Peacemaker, and I'm like, I'm kind of liking Twisted Metal more than Peacemaker. But we only got one episode of Peacemaker, so I can't judge it too much. But okay, this is my thing I was gonna say. I have a problem with creators in certain mediums where they only look at their medium. You know, this happens with movies a lot. Everybody's like borrowing ideas from movies, but you never hear like creators talk about, I was reading this book, or I was looking at these photos, or I was looking at this artwork, or no, it's like they're always talking about something in their own medium. Same thing with video games. There are like, you'll hear Neil Druckmann talk about Elden Ring, and they're like, no offense, but like, I don't want another Elden Ring. You know, I mean, first off, I don't even want these Souls games. But yeah, it's like, they're always borrowing ideas within their medium and never outside of it. Like, if they broaden their horizon a little bit, I think we would be getting more interesting things. Like where some people are like, start to connect the dots because things are similar, like the way web design works. This is just an example, just to show what I'm talking about. Like the way web design works is very similar to magazines, right? The way that things are structured and framed. But you would never, or most people who are not like taught in web design or magazine would never assume the two are connected, right? So that's what I mean. Like some things are connected, but you have to go out of your way and understand those two things and see, oh, that's where it's connected. And it's like that with a bunch of topics. You know what I mean? Like philosophy is connected with psychology and physics. You wouldn't know that if you didn't study those subjects, you wouldn't know that. But it's like some people need to do stuff like that where it's like, you don't, you shouldn't just study film. You should study different things. And that's like my issue with school. It's like they make you kind of, well, not so much high school, but like when you go to like university or college, they make you study one thing. And I feel like, especially when it comes to creative people, I don't think that's a great idea because it puts you in a hole. It gives you like this tunnel vision, and now you're only making shit that's similar to shit in your own field instead of it being like, oh, this is actually a different perspective from someone who is not just a film guy, right? Like they I don't know, they took medical courses, or they were a nurse and now they're doing film. Like those are the people who are kind of interesting. Like look at the guy who made Mad Max. The guy was a doctor. I forget his name, George Miller. He was like, I don't even know how old he was when he made Mad Max, but he was not like, let me just see. How old was George Miller? He was 34. He was 34. So that's actually kind of young, but still. Yeah, he went to medical school, worked as an emergency doctor to raise money for Mad Max. So it's like It's kind of interesting, yeah, that Western swipe. Reason why manga had a foothold in the West when it came to ideas. Yeah, I think yeah, you know what? That actually might be a good point. It's kind of it's a foreign idea, and so it's different, so people kind of like are attracted to it. But I think there's gonna be a swing eventually because manga's now extremely mainstream. There's like, bro, like some of these I'd be out and then you would hear this like girl that I would never assume is into the stuff is talking about manga and stuff. And now I'm like, bro, like so I'm like, okay, this thing is mainstream now. Most people who you would not associate reading or watching this stuff is watching it. Okay, so just saying. Um, do you think Calypso is the devil? No, I don't think he's the devil. I don't know what they're doing in the show after the last couple episodes. Because like in the games, well, the games is all over the place, but apparently in Twisted Metal 2, Calypso is supposed to be a there's supposed to be two versions of Calypso. There's the dark version of Calypso, and then there's the colorful version of Calypso. Where like the colorful version is the real world Calypso, or the person who's supposed to be more nice and more human. And then the dark version is, yeah, he's kind of like, I guess you would say the devil or like the evil spirited demon. And so I don't know if they're going to do something like that, but yeah, I like the writing. I like the humor of it. I thought it was funnier than Peacemaker. Like people are talking about because it's funny. Both shows have jokes about orgies, right? But like Peacemaker was just like the joke was it was just an orgy. But in Twisted Metal, like it was they were in a situation where they're like, oh shit, we didn't know it was an orgy, and then like there's jokes about it, and then eventually everybody dies. It's like absurd, and they know it's like this is all messed up because there is messed up stuff in the show, but it's played for laughs and like they do stuff with it. While it's like Peacemaker, it's like Peacemaker does coke, and then all of a sudden he's in an orgy, and then he's walking around, and you're like, it's an orgy, guys. It's like full, and it's way more graphic than Twisted Metal, and you're like, I don't know. So far I'm like the show is good, but like you could just tell that like James Gunn is burned out. Like you could just tell because it's just some of the stuff. It's just like the writing, the jokes, like and the fact that he wrote all of this shit within a year. Like the guy needs a break because it's like I don't think it's you know as good as his Guardian stuff. I got to be honest. Like Creature Commando, Superman. I'm not gonna talk about Peacemaker season 2 because it's not done yet. But those two things I would not say is his best writing. Like he's done much better. Especially like Peacemaker season 1. The fact that people hate Peacemaker season 1 is still mind blowing to me. The Grim Twist was hilarious. Yeah, I like his character. That's how you make a fun show. Yeah. It feels like I never saw Z Nation, but yeah, it was. I was telling Aaron, it reminded me of Ash versus the Evil Dead. I like that show, so I was like, this is actually way better than the first season, and so I'm like, just give me the fucking episodes. I just want to see it. I haven't seen Pacemaker season 1. Episode 1 was it good? Yeah, it was. It was decent. It was decent. I think the parts with like the story that they're setting up with with Chris, and like I'm not gonna spoil it, but something happens at the ending, and it's like, oh shit, now he's in this really bad situation. Like again, like the character stuff is interesting, but then everything else, you're like, I don't care about what's her name, Hardcore or James Gunn's wife. I forget the character's name. All of that stuff that they set up in the show, I'm like, I got to be honest, I don't care about that. Like, I don't know why they're going to focus on that. Like, Vigilante only had one scene, and the other characters too. And then they also set up another thing too. They also set up um Flag's character, Rick. Is his name Rick Flag Senior? Is his name Rick Flag Senior? Legit, or just Flag Senior? I guess it is. Hardcourt. Hardcourt. I don't know why, but the fucking name is just it's just a weird name. I don't know why, but so many shows I gotta catch up on. Yeah, but it's not like Twisted Metal is pretty good. A lot of the other stuff, I can't even remember what was the last. I think I saw Ironheart. That was the last show. I thought it was okay. I don't know why people are getting mad, but that oh my god, Ironheart. But it's like they did improve the character compared to how she was in the comic. So I saw the post saying Peacemaker is gonna be the face of the DCU. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Something like that. He was writing it on vacation. That's what he said. And he said he didn't even want to write it, but he only wrote it because of John Cena. Which, by the way, it's like, why don't you give someone else go build a writer's room and let them do it? Because clearly James Gunn is like a character-driven writer. Like he's not good with plot structure. And that's why I think one of my theories is that the reason why Guardians 1 was so good is because it was also written by somebody else too. Like it was like the structure was perfect, and then James Gunn went in there and like filled it in with his own voice, and then it felt like a unique movie. And that's what you need. It's like you need some structure, and then you need something that's like unique, so then people kind of forget that there's a structure or there's a formula. That's usually never really stray away from structure unless there's a point. You know what I mean? If it's like Memento, that makes sense. That's a great movie because the movie is structured in a way where you're slowly understanding the character's predicament, just like himself. So there's a point. That's part of the story. But some people, it's like they want to get all experimental and it doesn't work. Another example, Weapons. Weapons is a perfect example of here's the story, and the structure benefits the story because you can't tell that story in a linear way. If you did, there would be no mystery. And the mystery itself is not the most intriguing part of that movie. It's the way everybody's perspective adds up in filling in the blanks to getting to the reveal. That's why that movie is so good. You're like, oh, the characters are also interesting in themselves. So it's like you only get a brief snippet of them, but you understand where they're coming from. And that's why I like that movie. That is definitely by far like more movies should take a note from Weapons as just being like you need characters who you can understand their perspective, but then you also need to make sure that the structure benefits the story that you're telling. It can't just always be a linear fucking hero's journey. It's got to be something a little bit different. There's a writer's room for the DCU, yeah, but it's like more for like project to project and like ensuring things are fit within the universe. Also, James Gunn finished the Superman script. Well, he said the treatment. He didn't say the script. It might go into production 2026. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It is sounding more Superman-esque. I thought it would have been Authority, but I guess not. Sorry, I passed this. Is White Rabbit the first official Batman villain in the DCU? I think so. There was no villains in Superman, so um I'm pretty sure, yeah. What else was somebody saying here? The writer's room is my home office, bruh. I don't know. It's just too early to tell. Like, I wish there was a second episode for Peacemaker. Because you're like, okay, you have a good setup with Peacemaker, but I feel like the other characters, especially Rick Flag Sr., you're like, I need a little bit more. Because, like, if it has, because it seems like, and this is another thing too that's like slightly confusing. I believe Peacemaker season 2 takes place 6 months after the season 1, which is only a couple of months after the Suicide Squad. So that means the Suicide Squad, or is it a year? Because the thing is, then Peacemaker and Suicide Squad happen within a very short time frame, and then Superman is also occurring within this time frame too. So it's like all very like close together. And as a result, it feels a little bit like it feels more like years have happened. You know, it's been like years and years, but it's not. It's just been a shorter time. Isn't Clayface or Polka Dot? Yeah, well, but here's the thing: the Suicide Squad movie that we've seen is not what is canon. I mean, especially now that the first episode of Peacemaker, there's clearly things that don't add up. Like, for example, Bloodsport would have to be the reason why he goes to jail has to be different, because how did he have a kryptonite bullet if kryptonite is not really something that's widely available? And that's another thing in Superman 2 that's not really explained, is like, why does Metamorpho, how can he turn into kryptonite? He has to see or touch kryptonite in order to mold into it. But they never explain. That's another thing too. You know, a lot of people listen. I understand. I like Superman, but like, if we're just going off of what the characters are in the comics, because that's the closest thing, and that's what it seems like James Gunn wants us to assume the characters are like, is like just use the comic as a reference. If that's the case, then a lot of the stuff that's in Superman doesn't like completely track. And this is why I'm not the biggest fan of James Gunn's projects being integrated to the DCU. I still wish it was all rebooted, but I do like Peacemaker. That was the only thing. I personally didn't like Suicide Squad that much. I felt it was like really like it left a bad taste in my mouth. Like, especially the beginning where they just kill a ton of characters, and it was gruesome too. You're like, damn. And it felt like, I don't know, it just felt mean spirited. And then when they kill Rick Flag, that was where I was like, I hated Peacemaker. Like, when I walked out of the movie, I was so fucking pissed. And I was like so confused too. I'm like, why the fuck would they make a Peacemaker show if he's such a piece of shit? Like, he literally killed Rick Flag. And Rick Flag is not like a terrible person. Like, he's probably the only character you could really root for. I mean, Bloodsport is like a stand-in for Deathstroke. No, Deadshot from the first Suicide Squad movie. But I don't know, he's still a villain. Like, he's kind of like, I don't know what you would say. I guess anti-hero, but I don't know. He's just kind of generic. Okay, you feel bad because he has a daughter and all this shit. But like Rick Flag was like genuinely a good guy. You know what I mean? Like, and him to just die like that, it was just like, oof. We need cinema to go back to genre movies. I feel like superhero movies are too focused in staying in the Marvel genre. I think they are just so, like, I agree with that. Like, they're too focused on being a superhero movie in quotations. Like, what is a superhero movie? Instead of it just being like, this is like, it's just a horror movie, but it so happens to have a superhero in it. And I feel like one of the problems too, especially with the community on Twitter, is like this idea of like, oh, it's like a comic book. And you're like, oh, it's such a it like that phrasing, or like phrase, or whatever you want to compliment. To me, it's so stupid, because you're like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, Superman is a comic book in the sense that it's like comic booky. I don't want to say comic booky. That's the problem I have with comic booky. When someone says comic booky, what does that entail? What does that mean? Usually they're referring to the fact that it's concepts that you would not see in a movie that are more traditional to, like, you know, multiverse, or, you know, these weird characters that for years and years they didn't want to adapt in live action because they didn't work. That's what I assume, or when someone says comic booky, like I just did now, that's what in my mind it goes toward. But the thing that the comics do that is more interesting is that they are telling a story within a different genre that happens to have superheroes. So it's never going to be like an arc for a character is going to be, blue beam in the sky. Like all these superhero movies usually end with this giant third act destruction where they got to save all this stuff. They need to go away from that. Like find other movies or find other stories where it feels like, oh, a superhero could be in this situation. It shouldn't just be about we need to beat the bad guy. I also wish some of these movies had supervillains in it, but they weren't the antagonist. That's another thing too. I wish movies or superhero movies did, where it's like, oh, you know, Joker's not the main antagonist, but he's a character within the story that Batman needs to go to and talk with, or Joker's doing his Joker thing, and then that kind of gets in the way of what Batman's trying to solve. For instance, Rick Flag Sr. will be in future projects, which suck. I would like to see more Rick Flag Jr. instead of his father. I mean, I feel like Rick Flag Sr., he's okay. I mean, he's not like in Creature Commando, it's like they don't really define him all that well compared to the other characters. Like you obviously he's like, yeah, I'm still dealing with the loss of my son and stuff. But I don't know, you don't really get a good grasp on him. And this Peacemaker season 2, it does seem like they are going to try to do something different where now he's the head of Argus. But in this show so far, in the first episode, they didn't really show much of that. Who wants Crossbones to be recast? I mean, they didn't really do much with Crossbones, so who cares? Spawn has a director. I mean, give me the movie. Like it's been years. I don't really care. Yeah, I don't know. I think some things are just the genre. Like the genre is not going to be where it was. I think people need to accept that. Look at Joker. The problem with Joker is that there's not an easy solution. He's not a guy to kill. He's a problematic entity that Batman has to deal with. Yeah. But it's how you deal with him, right? Like what situation you have where Joker is now involved. This shouldn't just always be Batman going up against a Joker. If these things want to live longer and stay afloat as movies, then they have to tell different stories. I mean, I would wish we had, more villain movies. That's another thing I feel like it was like Joker made all this money, but there was no like want to make more villain movies. That was another thing that was slightly confusing. Like you would think Marvel would be like, we should make a movie about one of our villains and see how it goes, but they never did. That's the one thing I don't know why they didn't do. Because these villains, like they're like the heroes themselves, they never die. So it's weird that Marvel is always killing off their villains because those villains sometimes become heroes. Like look at Loki. Like the reason why that show was good is because it was like, oh, we're gonna treat him as a character, and it's not even about him becoming a superhero. It's more about him finding his purpose. Like, what's the point of Loki? And the show has a conclusion for him, and it makes sense. But yeah, it's I don't know. They need to, yeah, he should be something like that. I'm trying to think. Like, I don't know. The way that I would make some of this stuff is not how, I don't think it would be popular, right? But I would prefer just, if they had a Batman show or a Batman movie that was like a Mindhunter, where Batman is just kind of solving different cases or investigating, and some of these villains, in order to kind of like figure out certain things or understand the problem ahead, he has to go to these villains. Because if you think about it too, right, like, because this is similar to, this is similar to real life, right? Like, they would go to certain serial killers and ask their opinion and get their perspective, because some of these people are smart and they also have a frame of reference that most people don't have, right? Obviously, they're killers, but you have to understand them and their perspective. And sometimes I feel like Batman writers, they don't really grasp that. It's sort of just like they need to be the threat or they need to be the antagonist instead of it being like Batman can use them as like tools, so to speak, as a way of understanding a perspective that he can't. Um, I ain't hoping for Doomsday. All it means is Doom will be dead by Secret Wars. Mm, I don't know. I hope that's not the case. That would be stupid, especially if it is just like a Thanos situation and then gets rebooted and then we have a new Doom. I also think that would be stupid. Doomsday, I think, will be a villain-based movie. We'll have to see. James Gunn saying a Blue Beetle film fits the DCU is not surprising, in my opinion. If there is going to be a Blue Beetle movie, I mean, he says all this stuff, but you know, we'll have to see. I'm very like, I've said this before. I'm very skeptical of James Gunn because I feel like James Gunn says a lot of stuff, too much stuff, where you're like, is this even going to come true? Like the fact that everybody just like forgot that he said like Authority was his passion project, and now apparently that's canceled, allegedly, supposedly. I don't know. That kind of like irks me. Where you're like, you're the head of the studio. You just made a successful movie, and your passion project is now canceled. I don't know. You think they could keep paying RDJ? No, they're not even gonna want to do that. What's even the point? Like Doom should be a character that is a reoccurring character, and these movies can't do that too. Like if the genre goes away, I'll understand why it goes away. Like I'm not like delusional about it. I think some of these people are, especially on Twitter, I think they are a little bit deluded, or is the new word delulu. These people are delulu. I don't think they understand that like comic books should always be different. There should be a variety. That's why we have all these characters. It should not be homogenous. It should not be the same shit over and over again. Like if you're going to make an Iron Man movie, it should be different from a Captain America movie. There should be different themes. There should be a different uh character development for those characters. It can't just be the same type of jokes, the same production design. It can't be that. They got to stop doing that shit. And another thing that maybe they should get away from is this connectivity shit. Like it's cool to do the crossover movies, but at this point, do you really need to set up a crossover movie? Like in the comics, like look, in the comics right now, Marvel's doing Imperial. Imperial hadn't has okay, it has set up, but there's no like series that is coming in beforehand to set up these events. It's just like here we are, and then as the story goes on, it's revealed, okay, certain characters are at play and stuff. But you don't need to have set up. It's kind of understood when you're reading it. You're like, oh, these characters are involved now. Oh, these characters were pulling the strings. Okay, that makes sense. And in the dialogue and the story, it's telling you what's going on, why these characters are doing these stuff. Where you're like, if you didn't know beforehand, I'm not trying to give spoilers, but if you didn't know beforehand, the story's going to tell you. That's another thing too. Exposition is not a bad thing. It's the way exposition has been done that makes it a crutch. When people are just saying shit. But if you have no exposition, that could be really confusing. Like a lot of these YouTubers, oh, exposition is bad. Exposition is necessary for things that you don't like. You do not have time to show these things. So you need exposition. You need the audience to understand key information that otherwise would have taken way too long to show. And to be honest, that was when you're just like, because then it could like, because I'm thinking about Vito's comic, how Vito's comic also felt like it was just like a series of exposition just to get to the ending, where you're like, you could have just skipped toward the ending and you would still understand what was going on. You didn't need all this fucking fighting and all these jokes. You could just start right there. Oh, this is where we're at. There's literally a term. It's called in media res. You could do that. You could just start immediately in the story. People are not as stupid, but you still got to give them clues. It can't just be shit. My fucking hold on. Sorry, the lock screen came up, bruh. But yeah, I don't know. Some of these like I feel like I guess another tangent I would go on is like YouTube criticism has like killed creativity. It's killed storytelling in a degree because of course these writers and creators, they're aware everybody's like nitpicking shit, but like the point is that you have to tell your story. People can nitpick it, but the point is still the story, what you're trying to say. That is the ultimate end goal, right? And the audience can interpret it as whatever they want, right? Like there needs to be a separation. It's like you create the thing and then there's the audience to judge the thing. But like the audience, because I always see this, people always think they know better than the creator. And it's not true. You know what I mean? That's not true. I don't believe that. Right? Especially if they're telling a story that is like how do I put it? Like there's some nuance to what they're saying. And if you don't understand what they're trying to say, then you can have better dialogue, you could have better everything. But if the story doesn't make sense or the story doesn't click, everything is just it doesn't mean anything. And I'm trying to think. There was an example recently that was in my head, and I was telling my friend, I'm like, this is like a perfect example of like something that looks really good. It sounds really good, but it's so hollow. Like there's nothing there. I can't remember what it was, but it was something we were watching or talking about. Don't get me started. I won't name names, but some YouTubers just review everything negatively. Yeah. We all know. We always talk about them. Neurotic, you know, Jester Bell, all these like new YouTubers are coming up, just like Titanic with Jack in the water. Jack would have survived if he got on the boat, blah blah blah. Yeah, like those things, like yeah, like people are missing the entire point. It's like, dude, it doesn't even matter, right? Like if Jack could get onto the boat, there would be no fucking story. Like, do people not understand that? Like, there's no story. There's nothing there. Like like people want, and this is another thing too. I think this is just in general because I don't. People want like I don't know. People want things to be like perfect. You know what I mean? Like people want things to just be like, yeah, like this is how it is. This is how it should be, but it's not. And to be honest, it should be like that. Like things are not perfect for a reason because it creates meaning. It creates like something there to now like take away. And most people, they just want like a perfect story. Like these superhero movies are like that. There's never an example where, if you do something like, oh, if you have Batman in a situation where I guess technically before he could have, like Batman should be able to outsmart the situation. But then it's like, it's boring. You know what I mean? It becomes boring when all these characters could do all this shit and there's no like struggle. Like, what's the fucking point? Like, there was this one guy in the comments on somewhere on Reddit. I'll bring up my comment because I thought it was the dumbest shit. And this is what I mean, where people just want everything to be perfect. I'm gonna find it. Where was it? Hold on. Let me just type. What the fuck? No, where the fuck was this shit? Hold on, dude. This was recently. Yeah, this was it. So this guy. So this is an example of what I'm talking about. So the post is about that Zach Cregger movie, right, where Batman gets knocked out. And so this guy's like, oh, this would have to be an Elseworld story, right? Because no way could a random thug beat DCU Batman, who somehow beat Dr. Phosphorus. And then this guy comes in and says, why? Batman's just a normal human. He could have a bad day, right? Which is true. That's literally the point of fucking Batman. But these guys, they don't. This is the thing. They idealize the character way too much. The Last Jedi wasn't so bad. It's just all the negativity from the different directions. Yeah, I mean, the movie was trying to do something different. I don't think it did it well, but people didn't want what it was doing, even if it was perfect. That's another. People want things to just be the ideal version or the perfect version. I watched a video of someone explaining Batman needs to stop glazing Batman and how Batman contingency plans are overrated. This is the thing. Batman's contingency plans are a result of it's a flaw. Like that's supposed to be a flaw of his character is that he overcompensates because he knows that he's not a god. But the thing is, he can't know everything. Like the fact that he has a contingency plan for a contingency plan and it just inception, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like he needs to learn something. Like he needs to go through some kind of struggle to even develop a contingency plan. And the thing is, there's literally the whole point of Tower of Babel, that storyline, is supposed to be that Batman's contingency plans literally ruined his relationship and his status as a Justice League member. It's a flaw. It's not supposed to be something that's always used or is used as a crutch to idealize it and make the character seem perfect. Like, oh, Batman could outsmart Spider-Man because of this and this and this. And it's like, no, that doesn't even make sense. Like now he becomes a god, and that's not the point of the character. So yeah, as I was saying, so this guy comes in and goes, because we're in a fantastical world with fantastical Batman, leave Batman struggling against fodder henchmen to Robert Pattinson grounded Batman. So I said this, right? I'm like, have you read stories like Batman the Cult? Because a comic booky Batman can't always take on mobs of people. The whole appeal of Batman is he's still human despite reaching the impossible. There's always a chance that he could be taken out, even by the most unsuspecting person. And then I gave him another example of a story called The Innocent Guy. The Innocent Guy is like a one-shot Batman story about this random dude who it's kind of like Crime and Punishment. Like the guy's like sitting there thinking like, am I an evil person? Like, could I do evil things? And if I can't do evil things, then therefore I'm a good person. So what this guy does is he chains up a little girl and he's like, oh, I was disgusted by it, but I don't think that proved that I was like a good person, right? Like I have to go further. And so what he plans is he tries to take down Batman. And in this hypothetical situation, he does. And then as a result, he actually feels guilty for killing Batman. And then he goes on to live like a normal life. Right? And Batman has no clue about this guy. Of course, Batman would not know about this guy. He's just a random Joe off the street. How would Batman know that this guy's gonna fucking kill him? But that's the point of the story. The point of the story is that, these people are so dangerous. They're unsuspecting. That's the horror of it. And that's the interesting part of Batman's world is that these characters are so twisted and so demented that it could even you would never suspect it from some dude on the street. Like some dude on the street could hypothetically take down Batman because Batman is not all knowing, all seeing. There should be a story like that. I mean, I think they technically did make him all seeing where I forget the powers he got, but this was like Rebirth, I think. DC Rebirth, they did something like this with Jeff Johns, where he was like able to see everything. But like Batman being all seeing and all knowing would make him, it would literally go against everything Batman stands for. So what's even the point? Who's more human, Spider-Man or Batman? Tough question. This is a tough question. I mean, they're both pretty human. I mean, Spider-Man is literally inspired by Batman. So, yeah, the Morbius chair. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like the show The Wire. Yeah, like some of these Batman writers, I feel like they like I was telling my friend I hate it when they do shit with Batman. There's certain things. It's like I feel like there hasn't been like what I would want in a Batman story like most people. It's just not there. And maybe because like, I really like I don't know if I've ever said this, but like I've done like I study criminology, right? And I really love true crime. I like looking at cases. Like me and my friend would like sit down, we would talk about like things that we heard in the news and we like do research on it. Like this is just like one of the things I like. And because of that, um I don't know, I always liked Batman because of that, right? But I always feel like when I read Batman comics, they never capture that idea of like this guy is like immersed or like is very knowledgeable about, you know, about criminology, about studying cases, about psychology, about the why people are the way that they are. Because it's fascinating and it's a mystery that is not solved. We don't understand why these people do these things. There's not like a definitive answer. And that's probably one of the reasons why they don't do that with Batman is because Batman's supposed to be the world's greatest detective. And I was even telling my friend, I'm like, the moniker, the world's greatest detective, is stupid if you think about it. Because how is he the world's greatest detective and this guy's never even solved the world's greatest mysteries? I was like, why isn't there? I'm still blown the fuck away. Someone just steal this idea. Do a fucking Batman detective comic series where Batman goes around the world and he solves the greatest mysteries ever known to man. Like, dude, like it fucking writes itself. Batman is literally supposed to be fucking Sherlock. That was literally Bob Finger's whole fucking pitch of Batman. And I never use it. They never fucking use it. It's like, bro, it's like the easiest fucking layup and they never go for it. It's always like action oriented, getting into this fucking contingency plan bullshit. And then you got, dude, and this is another red flag. I'm sorry. I love Batman. This is why I go on these crazy rants. Let me pull this shit up. Okay. Because this was on Twitter. And I know this thing. Oh, listen, I'm not going to give him too much slack, but James Gunn said this thing. And then everybody started saying other shit. And then I knew 100% that we're fucked. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell is this? Oh, this guy deleted this post. No. Where is the fucking tweet that I had? Because I see this shit and I'm like, I know people are frauds, bro. Like, okay, here it was. I just scrolled past it. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Okay, so James Gunn says this. Even with Batman, if I was doing Batman, I'd get into it like Batman's a fucking maniac. So he puts a fucking scary bat costume and goes out and tries to scare people. This is what I'm saying, right? Like we truly do not have a Batman book or a Batman run that is understanding the psychology and gets into a lot of, because it's all fucking right there, right? It's all laid out right there. If you see it, it's not something that's in a storyline. It's just the subtext of it, right? The whole point of Batman is that he's a deterrent. That's why he dresses up like a bat. And now on top of that too, it's a fucking comic book. But this idea, so this fucking thing he said, right? And this is how I know that there's dummies out here who just dick ride James Gunn. They don't even think, because I'm scrolling through here and people are like, yeah, Batman's a sociopath. Yeah, Batman's a psychopath, man. He literally goes out and beats people up. Dude, what are you saying? You don't even know the words that are coming out of your fucking mouth. Batman versus the Jack Ripper, yeah, the Gotham by Gaslight, but it's like there's other situations you could have Batman in than just like murder mysteries, or you know what I mean? Like there's tons of mysteries, tons and tons of mysteries. Like Bruce's Mudahar, yeah, pretty much fraud. Yeah, he was spoiled by the Batman cartoon. Yeah, we were. That was honestly like, and go figure. Paul Dini is still the best Batman writer. Why? Because he understands the point of the character, or like what the character should mean, and like how now once you understand the core of the character, you could experiment, you could do a ton of different stuff with it. Wow. Yeah. Something. Do something different with it. Like there's this I don't know. I don't know. What was I saying? But yeah, like people are here, they're like, oh, he's a sociopath, he's a psychopath, and you're like, dude, that's like that completely misses the point of the character, that you would be like, oh, he's a maniac and all this shit like that. And it's like, I mean, there's a ton of other fucking DC characters who dress up. Aren't those characters maniacs? But it's like Batman is like a maniac, and like the moment I hear someone or a writer say that, I know that they're not going to write something of substance. You know what I mean? Like James Gunn, I would never want to see James Gunn's Batman. No offense, because James Gunn's Batman, you know what it would be. He already made it. It's called Super. That's what his Batman would be, and no one. That's not Batman. That's not interesting. That's like subversive bullshit. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, he dresses up. He's crazy. That's something like Garth Ennis would fucking write. That's fine for Garth Ennis, but it's like, Batman is not supposed to be realistic. Like Batman's supposed to explore the dark elements of the human experience. That's what it should always be about. Obviously, over time things have changed, things have been different. But Batman needs to be just consistently with the stuff that is dark, because out of all DC characters, or especially the Justice League members, he's the only one that does explore some of these elements of like psychology of why people are criminals. And the thing is, again, writers just don't go into it enough. I'm sorry. I'm not going all over the place. I guess I could just keep going and just randomly talk until everybody just leaves. James Gunn would be one of those Tom King Rebirth comics. He's OP, does crazy realistic things. Yeah, I was disappointed with Tom King's Batman, because it's like Tom King, you would think Tom King would understand, but then when you read his Batman, nah, nah, it's not good. It's like very focused on the emotional problems of Batman, and you're like, no. Like no, it just doesn't work. It's like it feels like he's should have already done that. It should be already like that chapter's closed. If he's far off into his career, he has all his villains, he has a Bat family. You don't need to keep going. Like what it really should be is Batman learning from his experience to now, how am I going to rehabilitate people? That's another thing too, like there's never, and I get it. It's a comic book. You need to have these characters to keep going. But like the ultimate goal, okay, like if I was, let's just, okay, everything I say from this point is like how I would write Batman. Okay. So you could disagree with it. You're allowed to disagree with it. It's all just an opinion. Okay. But the way that I would write Batman, based on what we've known and read from the characters, or my favorite interpretations of Batman, that they never really, it's like it's there, but it needs to go further. Is, yeah, and I like Scott Snyder's Batman, but that's because it's also horror-esque. Batman is like a prison system. It needs to a revolving door. Well, I don't really agree with that. That's what I'm saying. It should be Batman is trying to rehabilitate these people, right? And make them see a perspective that he sees, right? That these people are in a dark situation, and that there's always an opportunity to come from a bad place. It's not just an endless spiral into darkness. That's what Batman should be. It's not like, oh, I'm a hope for, optimism or whatever. It's more like you're trying to be you're trying to steer someone away from nihilism, right? And that's why the Joker is kind of an interesting character, even though he is supposed to be a pathetic character. Batman's part of the machine, yeah, but Batman should be breaking out of the machine. Like that's one of the problems I have with it. It's like the character should see that there's a system that he is trying to unravel, and that's why Gotham is never going to or why Gotham is constantly still the same. It's like, again, this is just my interpretation. What I would want, right? From a creative perspective. Like it should be Batman is always trying to build back the system, right? And make it better so people are not going to become a Joker or Harley Quinn or these people who are always on the brink. You know what I mean? Because that's what it is. Like when you look at a lot of criminals or especially these those we'll just use serial killers, right? Serial killers and where those you know, these people who end up in the prison system, right? Especially for a lot of, some of the most, how would you say it? Like crimes that are severe crimes, right? Or crimes that are not even severe, like crimes that are just like repeat offenders, like people who end up in that system. Like they do it because there's a reason why they do it. They're not just like criminals who are just endless. I just want to commit crimes. It's like some of these people you need to like dig in a little bit deeper and understand the reason why they're doing this stuff, and the reason of why they even ended up in the place they are in. Because it's nurture and nature. Those are the things that make us who we are, right? Your situation, your circumstance, and the choices that you make within the circumstances that you have, right? And some people, and this is my belief, like some people to some degree, like have, and this is controversial, right? But not everybody has the same amount of free will. I don't think that's how we should think, but I think that's how it is. Like some people have more freedom than others. Some people are put in a really bad circumstance, right? Whether it's like they're disabled or they grew up in a really bad household, or, sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it's people's own, uh, their wiring, their brain. Like people who are sociopaths, they're literally they're born like that. They can't help it. There's no cure right now for any of it. And so the only thing that you can really do is build them toward self-awareness. But sometimes that doesn't even work, right? And that's like one of the things that we have to like, the facts that we have to realize. And that's what it should be. It's like you're trying to understand the darkness of human psychology with Batman and realizing that in an alternate world, Batman could end up in a bad place despite having his wealth, having Alfred, like he could go in a very dark place. And that's what I feel like writers, they just don't grasp. They don't grasp the point of what the character should be. Batman dresses up as a deterrent to prevent people from going down a bad path and making sure that people, that's what technically the law is supposed to do, but the law is flawed, right? So it should just be like Batman is just slowly unraveling or understanding the limits of being Batman and like what he could do better, right? What he and the villains, it shouldn't always just be going up against the villains. That's a deep topic, something I've been thinking on. Yeah, I don't know, some characters I feel like always Batman is just my favorite superhero in general because I feel like there's so much storylines and so many characters that are there and you're like it's so freaking nuts. You know what I mean? But there's something there that's really interesting. And I think that's the reason why the character's more, I'm not popular, but there's something about a lot of writers like Batman, but they can't really explain it. They can't really understand it. But I think it's just because he's just a psychologically rich character. There's a lot of layers to his villains, to his relationship, the relationships that he has with, Dick Grayson compared to Jason Todd. That's an entirely different relationship. And it's a relationship that a lot of parents go through too. Like a kid who's like perfect versus a kid who's troubled, who's like trying, and then they end up in a bad place. And some of those sometimes like writers, they just don't see like there's so much to mine from this. Like you could just so much stuff. And yet it's like they're afraid. It's like they gotta lean on the shit that is like already been done. Like after Scott Snyder's run, I feel like yeah, they never leaned in that horror direction. They never the main Batman book. Like the main Batman book, I feel like they always lean into the action, the James Bond shit. And it just, I don't know. It never really works, in my opinion. Like it should be like flavoring or like icing. It shouldn't be like the main thematic elements, like or oh, we're gonna explore again Batman's emotional like hookups or hangups. Nah, don't do shit like that. Like it should be if this character is supposed to stand with the Justice League, you should be always thinking like, how do I get to my goal of like, I wouldn't say eliminating crime, but because you can't eliminate crime, and that's another thing too. It's like that's never explored, never an idea that's explored. Like, does Batman just want to eliminate crime completely, or does he want to have a system in place that is going to deter crime and going to prevent people from becoming not just criminals in this case, but like these fucking supervillains who are unhinged, who are, you know what I mean? And I mean, that's a topic that society within itself has, right? Where it's like, how do we prevent people from, we see what's going on now. People are off on the fucking deep end, and some people don't understand. They're like, why are people doing this? Why are people? So that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, like, fucking look at real life and you'll get some elements and ideas for a Batman story. Like, there's just a lot of shit there. I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm rambling. I'm going. None of it needs to make sense, but there might be stuff that makes sense. What the hell is this? What the hell is this? Shut the fuck up. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on here. What? Wait, what? Sorry, I'm looking at Twitter. I don't know. I'm gonna keep looking and finding and reading, but I still always find that like what I would want in a Batman story, like the thematic elements are never like embedded or like touched on. Like I would love to see another thing. I wish there was a storyline. I don't think there's a storyline like this, but like, if Arkham or Blackgate is such a problem, like there should be, and this is where it could go sideways, right? But there needs to be a storyline where Batman tries to make his own prison system. I know that sounds crazy. That sounds, bro, what? What? That sounds like, fascistic or authoritarian. But here's the thing, right? If there are, I forget what it's called, but like the way that the prison system was meant to be, it was supposed to be, it's interesting, right? Because you could just see how it backfires massively. Okay, where it's supposed to be a system where it's like, again, it's a deterrent, but it's a deterrent while you're there, where it's like in this concept you're in the jail, but there's a tower that's always in the front of the center, and you can never see who's inside of it. And again, it's supposed to deter you because you don't know who's watching you. I forget what it's called, but it was a book that we had to read, and it's like the ideas of where the prison system came from, right? And I was like, imagine like Batman did something like that. Yeah, set up a prison system where it's like Batman is like, I'm not. Yeah, I don't want him to go full dictator, but I want him to learn that like there's that fine line. That's what I'm saying. That this could like backfire massively as a story. Just like it's a fine line between like authoritarian and like, you know, trying to actually help people and rehabilitate them, or try to actually have some kind of form of punishment. Because it's like, yeah, obviously the reason why we have a prison system is to make sure that these people uh understand what they did was wrong for society, right? But the problem that we have is that the prison system has become almost like a band-aid solution, where you're just like, it's just now it's like we're gonna put all these people in prison, and it's just the worst of the worst, and the way that they treat the prisoners are terrible, and it's like that's the punishment within itself. But the problem is that the people who now experience that and come out, they're like, well, that was such a fucking shit experience. It fucking traumatized me to the point where but blind as a fascist. The point where now what the fuck am I supposed to do? And then those same people want to go back in prison because they have nothing else to go. Would Injustice work if Batman was a villain? Maybe. You could see easily where Batman can become a villain. That's another interesting element too that I like, where it's like Batman would become a villain who's like feels like, again, it's like very fascist dictator, you know what I mean? Where you could see where he would become that, right? But it's like where Batman would the reason why Batman wouldn't is because Batman is an empathetic person. That Batman knows that there's lines that you can't cross. Like there's very like touchy lines. You know what I mean? Like the once you cross that line, no matter what your intention is, it's going to ruin people's lives. Yeah, that's the story that I would want. Like where he's like, I'm going to rebuild Arkham and like try to rehabilitate these people, but he starts to see the problems and the ins and outs of like, well, if I'm at the head of this, it's like almost like now I could become a dictator, I could become a fascist, I could become these things, and they would fly in the face of what my goal is, right? That's where I would say that's where you would want to analyze Batman, like what you know the systems that he has in place, like how they could easily become too overreaching. Yeah, because it's like, yeah, you're never going to eliminate crime ever. So like that's like one storyline I always thought of. That would be kind of cool. Again, I don't think that was ever done. I don't know. It's kind of hard sometimes to find like was this like an idea somewhere, but not like explored in depth. But yeah. Yeah, and then another thing too is like would Batman how would this work from Batman's angle too? Because it's like, well, obviously Bruce Wayne would have to fund this, but like, would how would people feel comfortable if Batman was the one who was like overseeing in its entirety? Obviously, I would assume he would let in other people and then help him balance it out. I don't know. Bruce, it would be better to test out your theories in a Civ game. Yeah, that would be funny as hell. Something like that. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like different storylines if I ever was to write a Batman comic. That's like the only like I mean I have ideas like from time to time of other characters of like what they should do, but like that's the only character like I would want to write a series. And obviously I wouldn't do it now. Like there's a lot of stuff I would have to like think about. Not in terms of like the story, but like the point of it all. I guess. I don't know. Like I said, this is all a ramble. I know how to eliminate crime, make everything legal. Done. Well, but then it's like, turns into anarchy. But then some areas, maybe it might work. And that's another thing too. Like I could see, like thinking about this is like maybe like some of these elements are maybe like too political. I don't know. Like that's the problem now. It's like all these people are like, oh, this is like political or like this is like too much, and you're like, sometimes it's okay to engage with things that you disagree with. Like that's why I never really get on people's cases about their political beliefs. Because sometimes you're like, you never really know what you believe when, you know, until like the opposition shows up and you're like, oh, I definitely don't agree with this. But you would never have known because you didn't engage with it. And that's just broadly speaking. Because like I'm sure obviously in some cases it's not like that. Like you just know immediately. Like obviously, duh. But testing out your theories, Bruce would do the same. He's more CPU power. I don't know. Is there a gaming topic I could talk about? Is there something? BG, Hard 8. I don't think nothing's been going on in that community. Nothing. What is this? I love how connected the DCU feels so far. Well, I mean, they're all written by the same guy, buddy. The real test will be next year when we actually see projects that are not made by James Gunn and how it's shot, how it looks like. That's where I'm more interested. Like all this stuff with James Gunn, of course, is gonna be connected. It's written by James Gunn. Like, duh. The fuck, a blue cat? The fuck. You scroll through Twitter and you get a bunch of fucking random shit. Ins and out. I'm not even thinking about superhero content, bruh. I'm for next year. I don't even know what movies, anything. I haven't started that yet. I did see that weird thing with the what was it? The sloth from Ice Age. That's the only thing I heard about from that show. Was that even in the show or was that a meme or something? Like I'm still confused. Like people are saying like it has something to do with the story or like but the way it's like done, it looked like a meme. It looked like someone was trolling or something. You guys know what I'm talking about? We need a Succession style show with the Wayland Corporation. That would be interesting. Fuck them aliens. What was this? Absolutely love it. Voting all the negative reviews. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it. I only saw that one thing that people were talking about, the Ice Age character in the show, and he like shows up briefly, and it looks really random. And you're like, what the hell is this? That's the only thing I heard about the show. But otherwise, I do want to watch it. I just I'm just not even logged into Disney Plus. That's the only reason why. Yeah, I don't even. The only other show that comes out that I want to see is Fallout Season 2, obviously. That trailer was good. We're getting Yes Man. I love that show. That show is, even though obviously I'm biased, I love Fallout, but yeah, the Ice Age character. No, 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 no. Not going on no killing spree. It's something to do with the character. Something to do with the main character or something. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't watch the show. Go on. Go on. I don't even know what else is. I hate. Actually, I kind of hate this kind of period where there's not much going on. You know, not a lot of news. Gamescom was ass, of course. So there's not a lot. Not a lot of news. What is this? Grace Randolph says comic book movies are having their worst year since 2011. Well, I mean, barely started the genre. Scrat. Is that his name? Scrat? Scrat? Gonna go on a rampage. It says it's just brought up as a movie the character watched with her brother. It was a character development moment. Looks a bit weird, but it's nowhere as bad as it seems. No, I didn't think it was bad. It was just more random. Like again, I didn't watch the show, so I had no clue like what like why was that in the show? What purpose did it serve? But it was just like everybody was talking about it, and because it was like a random, if you never watched the show yet, you're like, what the fuck is this? And yeah, I was like, what? But I'm sure there was a purpose. I mean, yeah, because I'm like, there's no way this was an accident or something. That would be funny though. That legit would be funny. But like, how would that even happen? Like, it's not like the film, like, oh, you know, we shot the film on the same film as the animated movie. Obviously, that shit don't, that doesn't even make sense anymore. I literally quit X and Reddit. Yeah, most people have terrible opinions. I just laugh at it all now. Like, you can't take this serious. Like, I always tell my friend, I'm like, there's an example, dude. Did I save it? I wonder if I saved it because I'll bring it up, bro. I couldn't stop laughing. It was so funny, and it was like the perfect example of what's going on with Twitter. I don't know if I have it saved, but let me just see. I couldn't stop laughing, bro. And like people were mad at this guy too, and like this is a bot or some dude trying to get money, because that's all it is. It's all just rage bait now. Like all these, especially Twitter's just people just say shit to trigger people, and then that's it. It's just to get money. I don't know. I don't know if I saved it. Fuck. I have the screenshot of it, but it's just yeah. I'm wondering if I saved it on my Twitter. No, I don't think it did. Let me just pull it up. Let me just pull it up here. Fuck. Okay, here it is. Captain Cap. What the hell? Okay, here it is. Okay, so it was like, hold on, I'm gonna see if everybody's here. Um, don't get a DC. Oh damn, he was almost Iron Man. Talking about Timothy Oliphant, almost Iron Man. Forgot I got a Reddit. I'm always on Reddit. It's just easy for news. After watching the first film, you could tell it's gonna be the only smart move they make in the entire franchise. Interesting. Okay. So this is what it was. This is like the perfect example of the rage bait on Twitter. So some guy, he's a black guy, right? He's like, your boy done graduate from welding school, right? So you're just like, okay, it's a wholesome tweet, right? Congrats, right? The top comment, bro, the top comment, Oliphant, elephant, no, Oliphant, whatever. The top comment, this is what this guy says. That's not a job, that's a hobby, but definitely a Generation Z job in quotations. Dude, I could not stop laughing at this shit. I was like, there's no fucking way. And it's rage bait. It's clearly rage bait. The guy has a blue check mark. You know that this guy is trying to get money. Like it's got almost 100K views on it. But it was so funny. And this is like it's like the perfect example. Huh? What the fuck? Yeah. Yeah, this guy calling not a job, that's a hobby, the welding job. 100% the truth. Is so and you're like, dude, I was telling my friend, just pick a random fucking tweet up like a tweet that's like viral and read the top comment. It's rage bait. It's always some contradictory bullshit. Like one guy, um, what was it? I think there was a guy. He was some Jewish guy was like they're in a line at a hospital, and the Jewish guy apparently he's taking photos of some kid, and so this black guy goes up to him and he's like, "Hey, delete that shit. We know you're taking pictures of these kids and all this stuff." And the guy's like scrolling through his phone and he's got like thousands of kids, bro. And so the top comment on that was they should arrest the black guy. Like, what the hell is he doing, man? That's assault what he just did. The guy doesn't even lay hands on the dude. And the top comment is literally telling we should arrest this black guy. He was harassing this dude. You're like, buddy, the guy's taking pictures of little kids, and everybody in the establishment is like, hey, stop taking pictures of kids. It just so happens that the black guy is the one recording and telling the guy to leave. They don't know those jobs, hobby jobs get you. Yeah, like it's so ridiculous. Yeah, like obviously obviously the guy is not being for real. Like he doesn't believe that. It's literally just to provoke people because that's how every people will see that and they'll just lose their shit. They'll be like, "Are you for real? Like you're not fucking for real." But like, of course, people like some of these people are fucking liars and shit. This is what this guy says. Hold on. Yeah, there's gonna be some people defending this, of course. The fucking Mario shit. These fucking idiots, man. Um, I'm just trying to think. Hold on. Let me just scroll through. It's so. Hold on. I might as well. Hold on. Sorry. I forget. I'm on stream. I shouldn't be looking at my phone. Lying on the internet is illegal. It's all fun and games until you work 12-hour shifts. Yeah, I couldn't do that shit. Okay, this is a perfect example, right? Guy from what's his name? The Jewish dude that owned the ranch in Sopranos, right? Right? Pretty viral, right? Let's see. Okay, some memes. Okay, maybe this wasn't a good one. Maybe this wasn't a good one. What are we gonna do? Okay, never mind. Okay. Surprisingly, no rage bait. Let's go back. Let's go back. You gotta find like a pretty viral post. Just because most of my stuff is just all recommended, right? So I'm just like, what is a viral? Like a lot of sometimes, hold on. Like on a count like this, you might get some, especially if it's. Oh, I'm sure there's gonna be some rage bait under here, right? Andor's Fire, but calling it the best political thriller might be overselling it. Whatever, not. So what a fucking goofy F word. Creep, blah blah blah. Yeah, rage bait, but didn't really work. Like there is a lot of these kind of like tweets where you're just like you roll down, you're too busy assaulting women or something like that. I don't know. Hesh, yeah, that was the name, Hesh. Junior said, "Hold your cock around Hesh people." That's fucked. That's fucked. Uh, Fallout fans, yeah, last was trash. What the fuck? Um, nah, I don't think I'm gonna find a good viral post. I need a good viral post. Um, oh, hold on. Looking at this, rage bait. Your sorry, oh my god, I can't even read. Your great grandson won't let you watch the horse race in peace, right? You already know. You already fucking know there's gonna be rage bait, right? I don't even need to tell you why there's gonna be rage bait under this. Just looking at the video. Losing it over Pedro Pascal, probably. I've learned to just ignore retardation, just laugh at it and shit. The whole UK, I know. What's his name was in the chat? Boss Fighter. Me and him, he loves to tell me all the stuff that's happening in the UK. It's a lot of crazy shit. I feel bad for you. I feel bad for you, Bob. Truly, the shit that I hear from him, I'm like, God fucking damn, bro. But right? I don't even need to tell you, right? Look at this. How did the great grandchild blacken? Blacken is crazy, right? His wife is black. They have black kids. Sons and daughters ruining bloodlines. You already know, right? What do you think the grandpa's thinking here? He grew up in the old times. Bro. Like, this is what I'm saying. Immediately these. And the thing is, like, bro, like, look at this. Look at this. This is a bot. Like, this is a bot. This is not a real fucking person. I don't even when I see these accounts now, I'm like, this is not a real person, bro. This is not a real person. Like they say the most like vile, racist, all those types of stuff, bro. And they're not real. Apparently, everyone who isn't white is a foreigner now. Yeah, like dude, it's insane. It's insane. Yeah, those are racist. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, 100%. Like, you go on a post like this, if there's a black guy, it's a white person in the video, right? There's still gonna be, if it's only white people, there's still gonna be racist comments. If there's black people, racist comments. It's always like racist comments. Always. There are the same people who get hurt by girls dating outside their own race. This is the thing, 56K. These people are not real. That's the part that this is like the next level you guys need to get. These people are not real. They're bots. I'm telling you, like, you look at an account, and I was telling my friend this, like, I'm like, dude, click on the top comment, look at the profile picture. It was not real. There's this girl who's going viral. She's like, oh, bro, let me just put this up. Let me just find it. Like, if you look at an account and it's some woman and she's like, oh, I'm a teacher, and I don't know if I can find it. I don't know if I bookmarked it. Probably not. They are real. They just live in a time where they are the majority. I'm telling you, dude, you click on their profile, you look at the profile picture, it's an AI photo. It's an AI photo. They have barely any. Dude, hold on. Stop sharing. Hold on. I don't want to leak people's like DMs and stuff. Oh, what the hell is this? Oh, that's weird. Okay. That's weird. Okay, never mind. On mobile, sorry, it's not showing up on the desktop. I don't know what's going on. But on mobile, okay, look at this. On my message requests, show. Dude, bots. So many bots. This girl, bot. And you look at it and it's like she clearly stole. This is either a real person or they took a real person, turned it into an AI, and they have replies. Like they're all just like replying under stuff. You know those bots? It's like, where was this, bro? There was always like these like sex account bots, but they're all just like, can I ask you something? Blinded. It's funny as hell. Like I'm like, this is so funny, and I have to go through it every week and delete it because it gets so many. The internet is dead. Yeah, yeah. I'm not perfect. I'll just read you some of them. I'm not perfect. Is that a problem? Blinded. Did I send you a DM? Blinded. Well, you did. You did. That's a blind. So I'm like blinded when it comes to this, but for porn instead. Lol. Yo, it says I just wanted to thank you, blinded. What the fuck? It says this is gonna sound random, blinded, but are you single? What? Like, yo, like what? It says, I just wanted to thank you, blinded. Wow, blinded. What are the chances I bumped into you on here? Huh? I don't know this bitch. What the fuck is this? It says, hey, I got a question if you don't mind. And you gotta delete all of them. And this one, what the hell is this? It says, do you like her big tits, money bag emoji? Do you want to see her squirt in front of you? Thumbs up emoji. Do you want to order her to call your master like a puppy? What? Huh? Yeah, huh indeed. What the hell is this? If so, add her now. Let her chat with you every day. Talk about sex with you and become your sex slave with a link. Block and report. And the thing is, dude, like I can't even keep up with this. Like before you would get one or two, right? Sometimes on PlayStation Plus, this used to happen. Bots would come in and stuff like this. But they're like one or two. Dude, I got like 20 of them within the last week. That's how bad this shit is. You know, or they would send me into like a group chat. Crypto. You want to make money through crypto? No, bitch, I don't want to make no money through your crypto. Fuck you. It says also, I've been getting a lot of porn star bots liking and following me. Yeah, dude, me and Red are talking on Twitter. Some bot comes in because I was like, Vito, when's your fucking next book, right? These fucking bots all liked Red's comment where he's like, I got scammed for. It's something about the wording that triggered it. I got scammed the $45 because of Vito, and then show spam, dude. And then there's like all of these comments under Red's comment. Message me now for a quick recovery. Be careful reaching out to the unknown. Don't get scammed twice. Went through that. Contact private Westerner with proof of evidence for fast recovery. File report at Justice Refund so they can. It's so fucking funny, bro. It's so fucking funny. I want real porn stars to like my. Well, tweet at them and say some weird ass shit. Maybe I mean you'll either get blocked or they'll like you and then block you. I don't know. But yeah, what the hell is this? This guy. Be careful. Sorry. Please be careful of the choices you make when seeking for a hacker. I was scammed twice here, but finally got what I needed. These are all bots. Look at this. And it's like Bella J. That's the account. Bella J. What's the profile picture? Cookie Monster holding a Bitcoin. Cookie Monster holding a Bitcoin. It's a crypto world, smiley face. And it's all just random retweets. Look at this one. Commentary Elon Musk. Be sincere. Do you still have a picture of you with your parents when you were young? Yes or no? It's a picture of Elon and his mom. All the comments, yes. How is it possible if it's a yes if you're a fucking bot AI? You don't even exist. Look at this one. Another Elon Musk. There's a lot of these Elon Musk accounts. And I was telling, this is funny too. There was a article. What's up, Beefy? There was an article. It was a Canadian publication about this guy in, I don't know, Saskatchewan. The guy's got a bot farm that is like, it all just like runs propaganda for Elon Musk and Trump. And the guy's like, I'm not a political person. I don't even affiliate with Donald Trump. You're like, buddy, you literally spend sorry, not 100, $10,000 a month with these bots that are just like fanboy accounts. This is what it is. And it's like for a ton of different stuff. It's not just, politics, just random shit. There's tons of bots. The entire internet, the dead theory internet, it's true. Young Blinded, did Vito ask you that? Stay away. Yeah, stay away from Vito. But it's crazy. It's actually crazy. Like, and it's just funny as hell. Like, this is why I left and then I came back only because, some of you guys wanted me to come back. And dude, it's fucking hilarious. Like, I genuinely, it's like, this shit is funny. Like, I take a screenshot and send it to my friend. I'm like, dude, look at this shit. This shit is fucking insane. Oh man. I can't stop. You know what I mean? It's so funny. It says bots have been a problem a lot longer than people realize. They've just gotten worse with the new AI. Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. The new AI stuff, because now you could trick people into thinking that it's real. Yeah, corn. There's a lot of porn and shit, bro. A lot of porn. A lot of fucking porn on here. So like, I have to go and flag that too. Like, I have the restriction on it because it's like it's like too much. You know what I mean? Like, once in a while if it's funny, okay, but like you don't want to go through a comment. And I always have this was way before Elon took over Twitter. In some random chat room decades ago, some dude PM'd me and was like, yo, dude, most people online are bots. Yeah. And I'm sure back then, people were like, you're crazy. Now it's a fact. It's literally, I don't know the percentage. I would love to know like the breakdown of like how many bots there are, like the ratio. But dude, it's so crazy. And the crazy part is people think they're real people. You know, that's the part that I think is, it's not that it's scary, but it's like, I wish people knew better so then they just don't engage with it. Like, don't engage with rage bait. You know what I mean? Like, laugh at it and move on. Like, don't take it to heart because the thing that people need to understand is like on the internet, like you know, I'm not real. I'm not real. I'm not a real person. I don't exist. Yeah, I'm not real. This is all just AI gobbledygook. Could you imagine? Fuck. Now that would be scary. If you booted up a live stream or you saw you're flicking through live streams and you know the guy talking, he's not real. Now that's what's gonna happen very soon. It's just the AI voice is not there just yet. What was I? Fuck, I lost my train of thought. That always happens to me. Yeah, he is. He's got me. Well, he at least he keeps me on the second floor, so I'm not in the basement like at Tony's house. Like at Tony's house, I couldn't, I couldn't really roam. It was just like not Mountain Dew cans, Monster cans. The Amazon chat is AI. Yeah. Well, is it? Wait. Like even when you like ask it for a real agent, probably. I'm just gonna assume so. I'm just gonna assume everything now. It's just he isn't real either. Aaron isn't real either. I'm trying to. What was the? I had a train of thought. It always happens. Like, fuck. What was the thing I was trying to? Fuck. I just lost it. Forget it. Forget it. God damn. It's fucking 9 o'clock. Okay. Because I'm like, it's dark. I'm like, what the fuck? How long have I been going? Almost 3 hours. Yeah, that makes sense. Uh, I know I'm real. I think, bro. I think you're all a figment of my imagination. Crazy, crazy. This stuff is. It's. I don't know. Like, I wonder, like, when, like, what's the breaking point? Or what's the breaking point for these bots and stuff? Is it just like, they can't keep up, like, in terms of like, you know, the bot farms, or it's too expensive? Because some of these people, they're not really making that much money to like to sustain this stuff. So I just wonder, like, when is that gonna disappear? Because like Twitter, like the thing is, like social media, like it is a cool concept. Like it will always be around. It just seems like something that feels so natural. But I feel like, I don't know if we'll ever get over that point of like, the way people act online versus real life. I think it needs to like shorten, like there or like shorten. I don't know how to describe it. Like it needs to like merge, or like, the way people treat people online needs to change. Sorry, like the other ways of saying that sounded bad, but like, because it's just like the way people act on online is just fucking insane. Like people are very like, it's like people really don't realize that yes, there are certain people who are real. They're real people with normal lives. You know what I mean? Like, and the way that people kind of like talk to you or address you, like people kind of forget that. And I mean, most of us always forget that because you just see a person or you just see words and then you just respond, but you like someone typed that out, right? Like, and then they just went on with their day. But yeah, because I don't know, you go in comments and you see people arguing about bullshit, dumb shit, like, I don't know. That stuff I think needs to change. But there was one thing I do want to talk about before I go. But I'm like, dude, what the fuck was it? Oh yeah, okay, the streaming stuff that happened. That's what I want to end on. That's why Miko and Atari guys hate me. I like to remind them they're dumb. Yeah, they're those guys though, like the Amico guys, like the diehard Amico guys, those guys were crazy. But did you guys hear about this streamer? I think it was a streamer in France on Kick. This is one of the craziest stories. I'm gonna find it and pull it up. Because this situation, I didn't really know how fucking crazy it was. What the hell is this? Oh, more shit on Kick is happening, bro. Kick is one of the most craziest things, like, to happen right now. Like, they're definitely gonna get some restrictions. I'm not okay. Here it is. Here it is. This is the story I wanted. What's happening? Holy crap! Yeah. We'll get to it. I got the thing. So this guy, bro, 40-something-year-old man, bro, died in his sleep, right? Like you see this tweet and you're like, damn, bro, that's sad, right? Bro, this story is like a rabbit hole. Like, it's so fucking insane. So I'm just gonna say this. This guy did not die in his sleep. Based on everything that we know, regardless of what the authorities say, he died in his sleep, yes, but he had other medical conditions, but it was fucking triggered. So this guy for 10 days straight was like abused by, I guess you would say, his friends, or I don't even know what you would call these people, right? Managers or something. Like these are just like 20 something year olds that are hanging around this dude because he has some clout, and they just abuse him. Like, it's so fucking crazy. Hold on. It's so fucking nuts. Like, um, let me, because this was like where, oops, share to this tab. Let me close some of these tabs. Let me get to like
the camera right now and say,
this is so
if I die
fucking
tomorrow, it's
insane.
because my health is shit and it's not because of these guys. So right now they're already asking him, as if it's almost premeditated, to make an excuse for why they're not guilty of his death. I'm going to come back to this clip a little bit later. But
Want to get to the clip where they were.
Unless you
So these dudes. So like these dudes, okay, right? All of these dudes here. This is the guy who died. So what they were doing for 10 days straight, this guy, yeah, this story is fucking insane. It's so extreme. I haven't heard all the details. It was just at the stream. He was essentially tortured for extended time. Yeah, it was like basically this guy was, so essentially, people are donating to abuse this guy, right? Whether it was like, this guy was brushing his teeth with urine. Some guy would go in the bathroom, take a dump. The guy would clean it with like toothbrush, and he had no fucking, gloves. Like just like the most like vile stuff, like basically degrading him on camera, like making fun of him. They're like, oh, you're a 40-year-old virgin, making fun of him and roasting him and all this shit like that, like degrading him mentally. And then physically, they would punch the guy. I'm trying to look for because yeah, this video, this was like one of the reasons, like, okay,
I can't show you most of them. I'm going to before of a lot of this. I'm going to have to narrate beating. So one in the back group keep a couple clips.
I'm trying to see. I don't think they play a clip where he's getting punched because it was just too much. But this was the clip where they find him dead, like they're all sleeping and stuff, and it was on stream still. That's why they have this clip. So they wake up and they're like, he's dead. But yeah, they were punching him in the head and shit. Hazing death is a crime. Rip to those streamers. Yeah, they were just beating him up, punching him in his head and stuff. And he says that he had some medical condition. I don't know what it was, but he was even talking to his mom, and he's like, "Oh, the mom was calling on stream and saying, you look sick, like you look like you're gonna die. You look like you lost so much weight, and this is scary." And then his like buddies are all just like, "No, she's a fucking liar," and they're just like saying all this stuff about his mom, and you're like, dude, this is fucking insane. Like that they could just beat up this guy, essentially torture him physically and mentally, and then he dies because of his health condition, and then they go, well, there's no foul play, and you're like, there's no foul play? Are you fucking serious? The guy for like 10 days, is fucking tortured and berated, like how do we even know that if this were to not have happened, right? If let's say this whole stream didn't happen, would he have died? You know, the same time? Like that's another. I don't understand that. It's like these dudes, regardless if it's not manslaughter or whatever, like this is crazy. This is literally crazy. Like you can't come on YouTube and start torturing someone. It goes against their terms of service. On top of that, too, they could be legally, there could be legal repercussions for YouTube. But it's like, and I guess the government is trying to look into this, but this is like really fucking sketchy. The autopsy report show would be needed to find out. The family requested an autopsy. Yeah, well, they said, the coroner said there was no foul play. Whatever that means. Obviously, some coroners, they lie out of their ass. You know what I mean? Especially if it's, for whatever reason. But I mean, this isn't France. I mean, I don't know why the coroner would lie. Look, there's a crazy case, bro. Look at, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if, it's a crazy case. The Boys on the Track. Look up that case. That case is insane. And it's a rabbit hole. There's all types of people involved in that story. Bill Clinton. But that's a crazy story. Obviously, most of, that story's been confirmed. But that's an example of, a coroner lying for a specific reason. Obviously, he was paid off by a politician to say, the autopsy, give this bullshit autopsy. But in a case like this, what reason would they have, right? Like, I'm not even doubting that he didn't die from, how do you say it? Like nobody came in and strangled him and killed him. Like nobody like murdered him like that. It was a course of over time, right? Knowing that this guy essentially is not well. Like they knew what they were doing. They even say, I played that clip if you guys picked that up. Like they even, where was that? Listen to this.
Because if shit
You're watching. You guys are Okay.
No, I'm not doing that.
Les gens, ils vont s'en prendre à nous alors que c'est dû à tes 46 ans de vie minable.
Tu peux pas savoir que j'aurais été préféré.
So the people are gonna, no, say it, because if I'm
Listen
yelling
to
at
this.
you,
This is just fucking
bro,
nuts.
people are gonna go against us, but it's because of your shit health. It's not us.
So look at the camera and give us an
Like this is, yeah.
out. What you guys are watching right now.
Like they're forcing him. This has to be some fucking form of what do you call it? Oh my god, oh my god, I'm blanking on what it's called. Extortion. It's not extortion. There's another word, or it might actually be extortion. Because it's like no, there's something I don't know. Listen, I'm blanking. Whatever it is, someone I'm sure knows. Watching this, someone knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's like they're like, oh, it's not our fault if you die. You have medical problems, and you're like, if you had medical problems, you don't fucking abuse him. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's just like it just seems like exhibitionist. No, that's not what I'm. Like they are like essentially getting him. Coercion, that's what it is. They're coercing him into saying something that he doesn't fucking believe in. Like he doesn't believe that, and they're trying to force him to say, oh yeah, it's if you die, it's your fault. The fact that they're even having that conversation and then he dies, it shows you that they knew that there's a risk, right? And that's why it's like this should definitely, I don't know what you would charge them with. But it's like they definitely there needs to be some fucking legal repercussions from this, bro. Like you can't just have people come out here and do crazy shit and then go, well, the person did something or they had, whatever issues and that's why they died and we're not, not my fault. It's like, no, that's bullshit. That's 100% bullshit. And yeah, it's just messed up. And the thing is, like, Kick put this shit on the front page, and Kick is just like, you know, an entirely degenerate site. In this same video, I didn't even know this. Some guy paid a prostitute, had sex with the prostitute in front of their little kid on camera. Like, yo, what's going on? You know, like, what is actually going on? Like, where that, like, first off, one, why would you even do that? You know what I mean? Like, that's some really twisted shit. You know what I mean? Like, like, honestly, I would say, and maybe this, I don't know, but that sounds like fucking child abuse, bro. Like, that sounds like child abuse. I'm sure it is. It has to be. Like, why? First off, one, that dude who did that, I wonder who exactly that streamer was, because there's a lot of these like degenerate streamers now, where they come on and they, like that one guy, I forget his name, but he was pretending to be a pedophile, but he actually was a pedophile. Go figure. Like, literally going to clubs and stuff and like trying to like look for girls that were actually underage that were pretending to be of age. That's sketchy, bro. That's so fucking sketchy. And then on camera, literally finding one of them and still sleeping with them. And then it turns out, oh, they're like 15, 16. That's sketchy, bro. That, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know why these people. First off, one, even if it's, let's say this was all legal, obviously, I'm sure it isn't. But let's say it was, like, these people are like morally bankrupt. You know what I mean? Like, people will literally sell their soul on camera for clout, money. Like, look at Johnny Somali. Johnny Somali, like, the Johnny Somali situation is so fucking nuts. Especially the dude, his buddy, bro. I don't know his name, but it's some Korean dude. Johnny Somali met, and he essentially bankrolled his entire legal troubles. And this guy only knew Johnny Somali for a year, and he spent like almost 20 grand on this dude. Hank, was his name Hank? 20 grand on some random dude who, guess what? He lost. He lost in court. He's going to jail. Holy shit. Like, I don't know, man. Like, and then there was another story that came out recently about some lady. Some girl, some streamer. She was on Ice Poseidon stream. Anything with Ice Poseidon, I know, is red flag. You know, red flag. Ice Poseidon is like one of the OG degenerate streamers, but like, even this was like too much for him, you know. But yeah, he had like some contest. It's like some Hunger Game bullshit. And so this girl took some paint gun and was firing at random people. Random people. So she's in jail now. So some of these people, like, they deserve it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no sympathy really. You just, if you know, as they say, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Don't, like, why would you openly fire a paintball at some random person on the beach? Like, of course that's not okay. Like, of course that's illegal. Who cares if it's a paint gun? Like, still, you could get, I remember I had a friend, bro would show me all his scars from playing paintball. Like, and that shit hurts, man, when it's like up close. I've never done it, but like, it hurts. Like, obviously, I do wonder if there's like some paintballing accident where someone died, but probably rare. I don't think it would, if for whatever reason, it would have to do something, or I don't know. I don't think people have died from it. That's obviously not a common thing. It's paintball, but I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. But the point is, it's like, obviously, you shouldn't be doing that. Period. I don't know. Some people, I feel like, again, this internet and what they need to do to get some attention, I think is crazy. You know, it really is crazy. Analyzing evil. Oh shit, this actually might be a good video. This must be a banger video, bro. I know this just looking at the title and everything. It's like the only character I've ever talked about in depth. Like most unlikable character, someone that you could actually see like existing, was the mom from Sopranos. I know everybody in the chat would agree. I listen, even if we have never had this conversation, I know we all agree on this. Those new Soprano videos just rehash it. No, this is an analysis. This guy's really good. He does like analyzing evil, like evil characters. I love this channel. It's really good. He does so many different stuff, like tons and tons of different characters. Like he did one on weapons. I didn't watch this video yet on Lex Luthor. He's only started recently doing Fallout. He did one on the Master. Where's the fucking Master one? The Master. You know, love this villain. Fallout 1. He did Batman Returns. It says I watched it, but I didn't watch it. Ralphie, you know, Ralphie, bro. Ralphie's up there too. Ralphie's a true scumbag, bro. Mr. House, you know, like he does some great videos. Like someone needs to do like the opposite. I don't know if it'd be as interesting, but villains, like really good villains, go extremely hard. Like we need more very good villains. The Wire videos are ass. Oh, he did ones on the. Oh, you watched the Wire ones? I didn't see it. Like again, that's another video right there. It says I watched it. I didn't. So don't fall for the new booty Soprano videos. The Korean guy was probably one of the rich Korean. No, he wasn't, bro. He wasn't even rich. That was another thing that was crazy. He says, "Of course it's gonna hurt." Yeah. Oof. Yeah. I don't know. People take their chances, bro. Actually, you know what would be a good video? Analyzing evil. Streamer culture. Someone needs to do that. They analyze all these like streamers who did all this like illegal shit. Says I'm sub to all these channels I've never heard of. Wait. Oh, you're a sub to channels but you never watch them? I'm like that too. I probably have like 300,000 subscriptions. I don't even know. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, it doesn't even give you the number. I think one time I used to. Long time ago. Yeah. We got stuff with Destiny. I don't know about all that stuff. Sounds kind of sketchy. You got exposed by police. Oh yeah, here's like I was talking about this in the chat where they're talking about PPP. PPP.
Honestly,
PPP, like the way he sits down. I don't know if some people in the chat even know what Kino Casino is. But PPP, my fucking God, PPP is like 6'5", and he's like, has to be, bro, like going up to 500 pounds. Has to be, bro. Like he looks like a pig man. You know what I mean? Like scary, bro. Like massive fucking fridge. The fat one is the best one. Yeah, he's funny. I'll give him this. He's definitely funny and smarter. Andy Worski, as people say, right? I love whoever came up with this. Dude, it's so fucking perfect, bro. It's so fucking perfect. This literally explains Kino Casino. Okay. Pinky and the Brain. Literally, that's literally their dynamic. Pinky and the Brain. The Brain is PPP, and Pinky is fucking Andy Worski because he's so inept. Like Andy Worski, like all the cocaine literally evaporated his fucking nerve system in his brain. Bro, yeah, it's so fucking perfect. And oh man, like I love watching the show too. This shit was funny as fuck, but it's so like this is the best analogy. This is literally them. Because it's like PPP like is the one who knows everything and it has like the better takes. Andy Worski, he just sits there and claps like a seal. You know what I mean? Andy Worski's not very bright. Everybody says that. He doesn't really get that. I think now he's maybe coming to terms. You know, I guess when you're on, he's got to be going close to 40. But you know what's another thing that's scary about PPP? Dude, PPP is only a year older than me. Bro looks, yo, dead ass. This guy looks like he's in his 40s, bro. Like he looks like a good, someone who's like in their 40s but isn't like a crackhead or a drug addict, but he still looks like a rough 20s, bro. Like, yikes. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit. And he's so big too. That's another thing. Like, he could shave and all that stuff, but like, dude, let me see if I can find a video. PvP. Shit. Just type in PPP fat. I don't know. I'll get that. Yeah, like him talking about DSP's wife, like Cat is fat. It's like, dude, you're like almost, you know what I mean? I'm fucking 42. No, Bob, dude. I mean, this guy, listen, you would never suspect he was like, 26. Like, so he's in his he's in his 20s. He should start losing weight. Yeah. Yeah, his skin will shrink better than if he's in his 30s. Yeah, but he's like, it's all right there in his gut. He looks like a fridge, bro. Like, he's built like the fridge. Like, you come up to him, like you just stand, you look up at him, and you're like, holy shit, bro. Like, you have to be. There's no way in hell you're like not close to 500 pounds. There's no way in fucking hell, bro. And when he stands next to Andy Worski looks like, dude, he looks so small in comparison. Like, honestly, legitimately scary. I wish there's a picture I could find, bro. Like, just to give you a fucking image of this shit. I'm trying to look. I'm trying to find it. Oh, this might be it. Okay, I found it. I found it. Look at this. Look at this, bro. Like, and he just dwarfs him, bro. You're like, what the hell? Like, and this is an old footage too. Like, here he doesn't look that bad. He's still big as fuck, but like, dude, like, I'm trying to find. There was one I saw him, and it was like, yo, this shit's rough, bro. That's why he's always like, you notice his camera's like, he sits down and his camera's like above him, so you can't see how big he is, bro. Like, he's literally, like, one time Andy Worski was like, oh, you look like Buddha. And you're like, yeah, dude, you look like fucking fat old Buddha. Dude, you shouldn't be calling anybody fat. You know what I mean? Like, don't be calling people fat when you look like fucking Buddha. Oof. Anyway, these guys are fucking hypocrites. That's the thing. Like, they always do. Look at this shit. Woof. Oh fuck, man, that looked like, holy fuck, bro. Problem is his vision. Oh, brother. Yeah, we got to move on from this. Oh, brother, that was like the money shot, like, just to show you. Oh no, I don't know. I'm just scrolling. Like, so much fucking shit. I don't even know. His glasses might make him look slimmer than he really is in a mirror. Maybe. I know a lot of people don't even. They're like, Kino Casino. Listen, don't go down that rabbit hole. Don't go down that rabbit hole. Don't. I don't know. This is another guy we like to talk about. Ranting for vengeance. I don't know when I'm gonna go. I guess I'm gonna go when Aaron streams, which is like less than 10 minutes. Look at this. Retards versus badass. The worst Spider-Man ever. Look at this. What the fuck is this, bruh? Holy fuck. Oh my god, dude. Dude, this guy, I'm trying to think, like, he looks like the Grunch. What is it? The Grunch? What is that fucking, you know, the Ring? Like, bro, he looks like he came out of that well. Like, holy shit. Oh yeah, that was another thing. I've long cared for lolcows after Cobra's passing. Oh, no longer care. Sorry, I'm a retard. No longer care for lolcows. I remember I saw that video. This is a long time ago. There's a video that this guy did, and he made some good videos, and then he just disappeared. And he made one on King Cobra, and it was good. Lol, he needs a shower. Yeah, he's like, the thing is, this kid is like 15, but his dad is like a red pill MMA channel, and he uses the same background. That's how people figured it out. But yeah, he's like, I don't know if this kid believes the stuff that he says, but you know, like it's just wild, the stuff he says. Like, most unhinged racist things you can imagine. Like, he's lucky he's on YouTube, because like, if he was not, bro, like, this guy would be saying the N-word every minute. So, bruh. Yeah, let me find that video. It was a good video too, and the guy, he there's certain lolcows, like, I didn't think he was too bad. Like, I didn't really, like I said, I watched this video. It was a good video, but like, I don't know. I never really saw him like as the lolcow that everybody was like so obsessed over. There's a lot of snakes. It was, I can't remember his name, but he was really funny, and he made some good videos. I'm not finding it here. Let's see. He made a video on this guy. This guy's a lolcow. I don't think they've ever. This guy, Dank Net. This guy made some fucking great videos, and he just straight up disappeared. Oh shit! He posted a video 2 months ago. What the fuck? But yeah, this guy, he disappeared for a long time, but he did a video. Here was this one. This is a long ass video too.
Trolls, one of my haters in general, and you buy one of my wands to ruin my reputation.
I'm sure there's gonna be comments like
against me, what have you.
Came back, yeah.
It's not gonna work. You can't use a wand.
This guy did like tons of videos on lolcows. Let's see what. What was this? Tactical soap. Yeah. Yeah, I might have to watch this again, because I really don't remember.
Wand maker who made,
like, there's certain
So with
people.
that said, instead of giving you a drawn out,
I kind of understand why they're lolcows. Like, you got the ones that are like Boogie, and like those people are lolcows because they're just like, they just insert themselves into like too much drama and shit. But like, in all reality, it's like, if Boogie just straightened up his act and apologized, he wouldn't be a lolcow. Like, yeah, he did some terrible shit, and he's a hypocrite and a liar, and like, but most people would just fucking move on, bro. Like, this guy's crazy, bro. This guy's also probably a, PDF. This guy's insane though. Lord Genesis, whatever his fucking name is. Maybe there's another channel too. This guy's fucking nuts too. These like fitness lolcows, those are the people that people should be talking about, because those people are legitimately funny. Obviously, Chris Chan, everybody fucking knows Chris Chan. There's gotta be somebody out there who's like an actual like prime example of like the perfect lolcow. There's another fitness guy. I'm trying to remember. Oh, look who's here. Look. But Al Presador is not a lolcow. Obviously, 56K knows Al Presador. Yeah, Al Presador doesn't count as a lolcow. Like, but he did some. Like one of the like classics, bro. When he was a midget, when he was a midget making fun of that dude, that shit was funny. I think there's a reason people thought Francis was the real Boogie. It was in the end, yeah. I mean, people should have known. I mean, like he's playing a character, but it's like there's got to be parts of it that's true. Obviously, like the guy was like massive, right? And he's like Francis was like obsessed with drinking Mountain Dew. It's like you should have like picked up on signs that yeah, like he inserted parts of himself into the character, but yeah, all that sort of just yeah, the whole like fake I'm a nice guy. Like he should have never done all of that. Like the moment you say like oh, I'm a nice guy, there's people on the internet who are like that's like a challenge to them. They're like, "Oh, you're a nice guy," and then they will just obsessively dig up shit on them. Only super fans know El Pressador being scared for his life when her what? I don't know what this is, bro. I don't know what that is. That's fucking hilarious. El Pressador. Oh, look who's here in the comments. Look who's here in the comments. This dude was part of the Chrome Side Gaming. Laugh my ass off. Best community on YouTube. It was never about games. It was all drama and corporate cocksucking. I miss those days. That account used to roast the shit out of Pressador. Holy shit. No, I don't know. I don't know that account. I don't know that lore. Oh man. No, there's gotta be another channel. I think there was a guy who made a video about Matt Jarbo. That's who I'm talking about. That hasn't posted like in at least 10 years. This guy. Yeah. These videos, bro, listen. These are like some of the craziest videos on YouTube. These 3 videos right here. Most disturbing shit I've ever seen. Like I was traumatized. Super, super traumatized. I mean, I had a dog and stuff. My dog passed away recently. So it was like watching this made me go like, bro, like you just like that's someone who you legitimately want to be, you want to pull some daredevil shit, dress up in black and beat the shit out of this guy in an alleyway in Minecraft YouTube. But disturbing ass videos. Yeah, he's got some boogie videos. He did that. Tonka Saw. This guy was the perfect lol cow. This is we don't get people like this anymore. People who come on the internet say so many lies to the point where they start wanting to fight people, and then it turns into a real boxing match, and then they have to fight, and then they back out because it turns out they're crippled. Oh my god, this was like comedic writing. You know what I mean? Like Vito couldn't write this shit. Like Vito couldn't write this. My god. This is some good shit, bro. Who else? What else did he did Matt Jarbo. I think that was it. I thought he did somebody else. Huh. Shame. Thought there was another. Yeah, but he hasn't posted in a long time. Oh, let's see. Let's stream snipe Aaron.
Get out.
Stream Inception.
Demonetized for that, or not demonetized, but limited ad revenue for saying that word. But whatever. Just as Snyder fans are hypocritical, Snyder loves that shit, or at least
see what he says.
Applying that stuff in his films. And he loves the idea of grape too, and that's
grape.
That's 1,000 times worse than this.
Pause. What?
Okay. Well, yeah, we're gonna take a look at Grace now. I think Grace Randall does like the show, surprisingly. And this is 24 minutes.
Stream long. Inception.
I'm watching. Yeah, blind. I figured because I figured because you'd be talking a lot on your past stream, and I don't want you.
I might go
You might be out
on.
of breath, might be tired from talking. I know, I get that feeling too. So
Yeah,
you
I've
might
been
be
going
you might
on
be
for like
tired
almost 4
uh,
hours. Holy shit.
from your last stream, which is interesting. I didn't think you were going to go for 3 or 4 hours. I don't think that was
No.
your plan.
Yeah, I didn't go. I didn't know. I'm talking to
But-
him, but he can't hear me.
So chime in anything in the comments if you stream Inception.
If he has a stream open up of me talking, that would be funny as hell.
Are you sniping me?
Yes. Let's see what's going on here.
Yeah, I knew it. Thanks. No wonder.
I might end-
good. Huh. Yeah, I knew you're sniping me. But yeah, this is about Grace Randolph.
I'll end it here. And if you want, you guys can go
Okay.
to Aaron's stream and we'll talk about Peacemaker.
All right, this is about Grace Randolph, and I think she.
I don't know
likes
if I'll
this.
stream again like this in a while.
Likes this. Oh, did I make this?
Maybe,
Okay, it's-
maybe we'll see.
I'm gonna go on the
If there's
bottom.
something interesting and I have a stream of thoughts that I
There's no
want to
banner
talk
here.
about,
No, you know
I
what?
guess.
I'll go back
Sorry,
to the
whoops.
side.
Forgot to pause this. So I'll end it here, guys. I appreciate everybody for showing up. Really weird tangents. I mean, I kind of sometimes need to just like say weird shit, you know, and have like no interruptions. Because it just happens when you just, I don't know, when you talk a lot. So I appreciate everybody for showing up. Had a good conversation. Had a lot of fun. Laughed at a lot of weird shit. We'll do it again very soon. Goodbye. Goodbye. Fuck Johnny Smalley.